the ripples we create will not be strong enough unless there are thousands of droplets that creates a big wave to make an impact.
Welcome to Cebu! Global Summit.
We strongly believe that our coming together today will really lead us the way of performing, doing things, making action in such a way that we can also be an instrument of achieving the development goals of 2030.
Ensuring that each individual has an equal opportunity for education progress remains a challenge worldwide.
We believe that college is not for everyone. You can chart your own path. You can make your own way. There are other options available for you.
There are so many jobs in tourism, and around the world, it's the trend.
You become a success if you understand that everything you do is for the service of humankind.
Love the truth, even when it hurts.
Love is a decision. First, find something that you love to do. If along the way you encounter disillusionments, just remember that you can always decide to love.
I have no doubt that you will actually be the one to lead us in creating safe spaces, not just for you, but for the generations to come.
If one people has a dream, it will remain as just a dream. But if 1,000 people has the same dream, that dream eventually can come true.
And that's what I long for.
Consider this option. Wherever you are, wherever you go, make it a better place.
Do you remember ang linis ng dati nating mundo? Free kang gumala, hawak kamay, tama ang warmth ng pagkakaibigan. We were on the road to a good life. Puno ng love at galak sa puso. But what happens after the fun? Pagkatapos ng matinding challenges, ito na ang bagong normal.
Kaya umayos tayo, pare ko. Ang basura mo, responsibilidad mo.
Love your child as a child first, and the disability second.
Nagkakaiba lang tayo the way we move. Kasi meron kayong paa, pero kami may wheels kami.
Every person and every citizen of this country has the right to be included.
It is my genuine wish that all of us can accept, accommodate, and appreciate Filipinos on the autism spectrum. Breast cancer is something that we need to take seriously, but it's good to remember that just because you have it, it doesn't mean it's a death sentence.
That's really our hope that one day, like any mother, if she wishes to breastfeed, nobody will judge her.
We have to ensure the participation of young people to issues that matter to them, to issues that matter to us.
Through the help of the business and private sector, we can reimagine a different and better future for children in need.
I really believe that each one of us can make a difference in addressing plastic pollution.
We really need to take collective action to combat the threats to our environment.
My dream really is that if we can help in any way to make life better.
Sa muling pagbangon ng mundo at ng bansa natin, kailangan dito ay sama-sama tayo.
Hi, I am JC Baltazar from the Philippines.
My name is Micah and I live in Indonesia.
Hey, my name is Vital Solubu.
Bonjour, mon nom c'est Jean-Marie Coadjou.
Hi, my name is Ranga from Indonesia.
My name is Taufikul Alamapon and I'm from Bangladesh.
I'm Vicky and I'm from Taiwan.
Here in my country, it is always a challenge for young people to secure good employment.
Many of the young people in our country, including myself, we don't always have the figure, the guide, or the right environment for us to navigate what we really want to do in our career and develop ourselves in that direction.
Us young people have to teach ourselves the ways because schools can keep up.
That is why we have a significant level of underemployment wherein you are doing a job not aligned with your degree just to get that level of experience.
L'agriculture n'est pas aussi valorisée que les emplois administratifs. Et la plupart du temps, ce n'est pas rentable.
But then, who's sustainably growing our food in the future?
Young people today are big aspirators, dreamers, and achievers, hoping to work in a company that has big impact and adds real value to the world.
And nobody but us can make it happen. And we are ready to do that. Right, guys?
So in 2020, I started helping out the store owners to run their business online. For that, I had to learn about digital marketing and logistics.
Nestlé m'a permis de développer mes compétences et mes connaissances afin d'améliorer mon exploitation.
I want to thank on the learnings I have gained by working at Nestlé, a big dream company of mine. Witnessed and nurtured directly the value chain starting from how raw materials being delivered till it served to the fork of consumer. This led me down to a journey of self-growth and self-discovery to be the future agripreneur.
I'm glad that there are many wonderful people and resources in Nestlé to help me to become a better and a more experienced person so that I can have courage to face the challenges in the future.
It's amazing just how much Nestlé is willing to invest in us youth, and I'm excited to learn and grow more with Nestlé.
In 2008, poverty, illiteracy, corruption, and identity-based conflicts in the Philippines became top challenges to its national growth and development. To support the government's efforts, GlobalPeace Foundation Philippines was launched in 2009 to help respond to the needs of Filipino communities through its programs and initiatives in major development areas. GlobalPeace Foundation Philippines engages the government, civil society, and private institutions to advance sustainability and peace in the country through its community development programs. All Lights Village, or ALV project, combines solar technology with clean water solutions, education, income generation, and public-private partnerships to improve the overall quality of life in the communities in measurable ways. Globals works with the Department of Education as a service provider of the Alternative Learning System, or ALS, to extend education opportunities to out-of-school children, youths, and adults. Character and Creativity Initiative integrates character and creativity into all aspects of school culture towards the development of the whole person, making education more relevant in the 21st century. GlobalPeace Youth Philippines, its youth division, has a mission to educate young people to become future leaders with both moral and innovative capacity. GlobalPeace Women Philippines empower women's leadership in a culture of service for the larger community and guide families to implement solutions to common challenges. Global Peace Foundation Philippines brought important changes in more than 40 communities and among thousands of Filipinos across the country. These are in terms of community development, education, disaster response, and leadership development among women, youth, and leaders from key sectors. With the help of our generous supporters and partners, we've come a long way in supporting the underserved and remote communities and have advanced in promoting moral and innovative leadership. On its 8th year, GPF Philippines is more determined to help address the country's challenges in poverty, illiteracy, and leadership development.
This Global Peace Camp really reminds me of something that I was born with a purpose.
Safe spaces for all spaces, please!
We have aligned our work to support the achievement of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. We challenge and invite you to work with us towards a more progressive, ethical, cohesive, and compassionate Filipino communities, families, and individuals. Participate in our workshops, volunteer, talk to your CSR outreach department, donate. There are many ways to join our growing network of Peacebuilders.
Let us welcome one another to a global community that truly cares.
For the greatest dream of all, at the end of the day, is a world of peace. We are all members of one human family under God.
I have strong faith in our youth. I know you will rise to the challenge of our times. I know you will not neglect your country and abandon your future.
We are a vital part of making this planet whole again. For making this country whole again, mindful again.
Pag meron tayong hugot, maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a sign that that pain was meant to open up our eyes and open up our hearts to something that we need to take care of.
Every child has the right to grow up in an environment where they feel safe and secure and have basic services
and clean air and water.
Aming tutulong na mga institution sa kanila na hindi sila nag-iisa sa journey nila through fighting depression and anxiety.
It has been far very entertaining, and it's very it's lighting a fire on us to start our own projects in changing the world.
Thank you, Global Youth Summit.
Thank you, SMK. It was such a great experience, and I hope that I'm able to instill in their hearts and in their minds how they can create safe spaces for the children and the youth in their own communities.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second virtual Global Youth Summit 2021 in conjunction with the GlobalPeace Convention happening via Zoom, Facebook, and On24.
Wow. Hello, Cholo. It is so nice to see you again. And just look at how many of us are here today. We are so happy to share with you that we have gathered more than 5,000 registrants of students and youth leaders from all over the Philippines and abroad. And take note, we have participants from 45 countries. How amazing is that?
That's mind-blowing. But before anything else, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Cholo de Cruz.
My name is Micah Louisse, and we are your hosts for this year's Global Youth Summit.
You know what? It is so nice to be able to host the GYS again. I really miss doing it live, but this is definitely not going to be short of amazing.
Yes, that is right, Cholo. And I still remember the GYS at the MOA Arena last 2019, and it was packed with, I think, more than 12,000 people.
Right. You know, most of you already are familiar with the Global Youth Summit. It's an annual gathering of youth leaders and students historically held at the Mall of Asia Arena. And like what I said, I could still remember 2019 so clearly. I could remember us going out on stage and just seeing 12,000 participants just so excited and so enthusiastic about that day and excited to learn from our speakers.
Yes, that's right, Cholo. But then, I also believe that this is a great opportunity to bring people from all over the world because it's very accessible to just, hop online and learn something new. And it's not just going to be today, but tomorrow as well. And here's more, Cholo. Do you know that SM Malls is now online? It is currently available in SM Mega Mall, North EDSA, Mall of Asia, and on August 16 in Fairview as well. Now you can enjoy shopping guaranteed authentic items from a wide variety of retail brands, restaurants, and of course, hashtag tech assured gadgets from the cyber zone at the comfort of your home. And you also don't need to worry about multiple delivery fees because you can purchase from different brands or restaurants all in one checkout.
And that is amazing. But you know what? I'm just so excited. And of course, leadership is about being resourceful and about being resilient. And it's so amazing how the Global Youth Summit can gather so many youths from different places in the Philippines and from other countries like the United States. You have Japan, you have Korea, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Brazil, Paraguay, Kenya, Nigeria, Italy, Spain, and many, many more. And really, the Global Youth Summit is brought to you by SM Cares, the GlobalPeace Foundation, Consuelo Foundation, CIE British School, Rotary Club of Makati, Circle of Friends, Nestlé Philippines, and Unilever and Globe. Now, this project supports the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And also, we would like to acknowledge our child protection team who are present at this event. So the child protection team is established for children or youth to reach out if they feel that their rights have been violated or they feel unsafe because of things that happened during the event. Now, they can contact the Child Protection Committee through Global Peace Foundation Philippines Facebook page and drop their concerns there.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Cholo. And so, what exactly is in store for the next 2 days? We will continue having conversations about local, global, and social issues, especially those that matter to you the most. We will all continue learning, and we are excited just as much as you are to hear from industry experts, leaders, personalities who will share their wisdom and as well as their valuable insights about the selected topics for this year's summit. And so we encourage all of you guys to listen intently and very well, listen, learn, and engage to make the most out of these 2 days. So, to get us started and to give us his welcoming remarks, let us all please welcome the program director of the SM Cares program on children and youth, Mr. Royce Cabuñag.
Hello, everyone. Before we start, I would just like to first acknowledge our partners from Global Peace Foundation, whom I've had the privilege of working with for more than a decade now. And along the way, we met like-minded advocates and organizations to make this program sustainable and dynamic, such as the Consuelo Zubel Alger Foundation, Nestlé, Unilever, and of course, we have the support also of the CIE Military School, the Rotary Club of Makati, Circle of Friends, and Globe as our official telco partner for this event. And with that said, allow me to officially welcome all of you here at the 2021 Global Youth Summit. For the last 8 summits, we've been trying to innovate our programs and make it as engaging and as relevant for our participants. We always try to add something new or do something different. And now that we are mostly online, the challenge of making it better and bigger has become more daunting as we adapt to a whole new environment. But what dawned upon us was that what is truly important is the spirit and the essence of the Global Youth Summit. That GYS is a platform to inspire and be inspired, an instrument for young people to be able to share their ideas, to utilize their diverse skill sets, knowledge, and even network. But its success depends if you, the youth, our participants, will be able to make that spark, will be able to create a mark and a positive impact in the lives of others. Now, many of you who are watching online, some are probably doing their chores or even having snacks as if you were in a movie. You might be asking, how can you find your purpose? What can you do to actually make things happen? Maybe to help you understand your journey, allow me to share our journey before GYS reached this scale. In 2010, Global Peace Foundation and SM Cares crossed paths with an attempt to break the Guinness World Record by trying to create the largest peace symbol with over 23,000 students in solidarity for peace efforts. But at that time, we were also with other partners searching for an advocacy that we can sustain. Hence, our partnership with UNICEF for water, sanitation, and hygiene projects supported more than 116,000 students in the provinces of Masbate, Capiz, and Palawan. While our collaboration with the Council for Welfare, Children, and National Youth Commission allowed us to showcase Filipino youth power. We beat Germany in the Guinness Book of World Records when we raised more than 3.5 million pencils for less fortunate children and formed the longest line of pencils. But as God would provide, it was our partnership with ISEC, National Youth Commission, and the Global Peace Foundation that gave birth to the Global Youth Summit. After a brief discussion of aligning a vision towards youth development, the first Global Youth Summit was launched in 2011 at SM North EDSA. Can you imagine when we started 10 years ago, we were already overwhelmed with joy to reach more than 1,000 students at the SM Sky Dome. And now, we are joined by more than 40 other countries with hundreds of thousands of youth in attendance. So obviously, this later evolved as our family of collaborators and partnerships grew, and we were able to take part in actualizing and further developing youth projects that push forward the UN Youth Strategy for Sustainable Development Goals, or known as the SDGs. Needless to say, it was in this journey that we learned and aligned with the SDGs and have practiced and promoted it across our platforms. And this had a wide and positive impact in the communities we serve. But since then, we have been highlighting the 7 Sustainable Development Goals in GYS and have actually ingrained it into our business operations. What I would like to share with everyone are 3 things that I have learned from decades of working with tenants and entrepreneurs. And hopefully, this will also help jumpstart your journey into a more meaningful purpose. First, what I learned from great entrepreneurs is the ability to rise after every time they fall. It's called grit. Especially now that we live in a world of instant gratification, we need to relearn that failure is just part of the process. Failure is actually what will allow us to reach our goals. Because grit determines that life's challenges should never defeat nor define us. And developing grit takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of practice. The past week, the newspapers were filled with headlines about the Olympics. And for the Philippines, we won our first ever gold medal after 94 years. Our first Filipino Olympic gold medalist was Heidelin Diaz. And she is a story of grit and determination. And guess what? She is only 30 years old. She joined the Philippine Army at a young age to support her family. Then she pursued weightlifting as a sport. However, she didn't get much support from her family because they believed weightlifting was a sport for men. She had to look for groups who would support her to train and even compete abroad. She didn't get much support either from the government as resources were low. But to cut the story short, despite all the adversity she had to face in life, she used every problem as a stepping stone to build herself. She worked harder to develop her skills and reach her golden goal. Second, we should learn to be more optimistic, that you may find an opportunity for your goals. In a world where bad news travels faster than good news, we tend to absorb more negativity and become desensitized with crime and violence. Our outlook in life changes. One example is the pandemic, and while many might not see the present as a gift, it has actually given us time to slow down, appreciate things we took for granted, and be more open to possibilities that would have never expected. True, it's hard to see the silver lining in a cloud of thunderstorm, but we have to fight it. We have to ride it. We should continue to find the good in people and have more optimism as we go through our journey in life. Because as soon as we see a glass of water as half full, we will now be able to see opportunity. We will be able to refocus on our main goal. In fact, this is something I learned from the C family, particularly when my boss, Engineer Hansi, he said, don't focus on the problem. Focus on finding the solution. If you find yourself facing a wall, don't try using the same strategy to overcome the wall. If you can't go through it, go over it. If it's too high, try digging. Don't stop until you find your solution. So stay optimistic that you may find your opportunity. And third, and last but definitely not the least, we know that everything starts with a dream. But when we dream big. Some of you may have heard that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face it despite the difficulty. And we have heard so many stories that turn misfortune into opportunities. That is actually how our founder, Mr. Henry C. Sr. started more than 60 years ago. He started with a dream of selling shoes, but not just selling to 100 or even to 1,000 people. He dreamt big. He dreamt of being able to sell a pair of shoes to every Filipino. Back then, SM was known as Shoe Mart, which started selling shoes in a small stall along the side streets. But with Mr. C's hard work and perseverance, his business grew. SM evolved from Shoe Mart to SM Super Malls. And the SM Group has now other complementary businesses involved with retail, finance, and properties. So remember, when you aspire, when you dream big. Shoot for the stars so that you can land on the moon. So these are the 3 things which I hope you will remember as you journey in fulfilling your purpose. Again, for those who are not able to write it down, so please get your paper and pen. It's G for grit, O for opportunity and optimism, and D, dream big. And if you notice, this spells out God. Because it is my belief, in everything we do, we should always do it with God, so we can give back the glory to Him and give back to the community we are in. Because if we are not to give back to our community, who else will? So it is my fervent prayer for those participating in this year's GYS that you may be inspired by our speakers and leaders, that you may find purpose as you dream big, and that you remain to have the grit to surpass all the challenges that you will find in your journey and create opportunity not only for yourself, but also for others, so that you may become an instrument to transform our world for a better new normal. Again, we welcome you to an online global community that truly cares. Take care of yourselves and of each other.
Thank you very much, Mr. Great way to start our show. But also, we want to introduce another guest who will share with us his message of support for the youth. So please welcome the Vice President of the GlobalPeace Foundation, Mr. Daniel Bessell.
Hi. Congratulations to the organizers, staff, and volunteers for working tirelessly to put on this Global Youth Summit. You probably all know this, but this is already the 9th GYS. It's a very impressive effort, and I want to thank everybody who has contributed over the years. I'm so happy that so many of you are working on projects and efforts targeting the Sustainable Development Goals, and I'm very honored that I have this chance to speak to all of you today. I strongly believe that promulgating moral and innovative youth leadership toward achieving the SDGs is of high importance, and I want to take this opportunity to explain why. The world is changing so fast, and now more than ever, people are realizing that even though there are practical, geographic, national, and political separations, in reality, we're all much more interconnected. The real problems, such as illnesses like the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, are not limited by national boundaries. In the same way, new ideas, inventions are also not limited by traditional boundaries. As all of us know, living in the age of Facebook and Twitter, the world is ever more interconnected and integrated. To me, it seems that all separation is really artificial. Sadly, some people have an outdated mindset and attitudes. It's like having an outdated OS, an operating system that simply is not able to compute to the new realities we live in. This old OS is segmenting humanity, keeping us separate, making distinctions between groups, individuals, based on arbitrary natural characteristics such as someone's origin, culture, and ethnicity. In reality, we all know intrinsically that we're the same. We all came to be here on this earth the same way, and we're all members of the very same large extended human family. And all of us are striving to be happy and at peace. Recently, my wife and I celebrated our 22nd anniversary. You know, it's kind of funny. I was sort of expecting to hear some cheers or maybe some clapping, but this new medium of communicating leaves me rather isolated here, staring into this camera. Anyway, I'm going to pretend you're all really happy for us. So thank you very much. As one does, I had to go find a gift for my wife for the anniversary. And believe me, as time goes by, this becomes more difficult. I was looking for something meaningful, maybe even something valuable. And I was asking my daughters for advice. And after much searching, I found something that fit. However, in the process, I had a realization. Something that is rare is valuable. Like, for example, diamonds and gold. They are valuable because there's only a finite amount of it around. Something that is more rare or more rarer is more valuable. Something that is so rare that only one of it exists, like, for example, a piece of art, let's say Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, is therefore really priceless. It's irreplaceable. My realization was that our distinctions and individual uniquenesses actually make us all unique and therefore infinitely valuable. Each of us is really priceless. Each person being unique is the way humanity is designed and meant to exist. It is the most natural organic state. The never-ending, ever-growing uniquenesses are expressed in ultimate diversity. This is really of tremendous benefit to all, and it enriches our human experience. This diversity in our extended human family is to be cherished. It is the natural intended state. I try to live my life respecting every person's human rights because I believe in this God-given fundamental value of each person that really everybody is born with. To me, it seems that those with the outdated OS I was mentioning earlier may have missed an update cycle of sorts. And thinking about what to do about that, I look at my children and how they learn. They first seem to learn by imitating an example. Well, I guess that example was me, and maybe I'm not the best example, but thank God there's also my wife, and she's a much better example. You know, I might get brownie points for saying this. But you know, it really takes a very long time to develop the basics. Like, think about it, walking and talking. And nowadays we even know that the brain doesn't even develop until somebody's in their late 20s. And higher level reasoning and understanding of what's acceptable, what's right and what's wrong, what's ethical, these kind of things, maturity takes a very long time to develop. And as people grow and develop, personal experience becomes more and more important. And affecting any change is best achieved through experiential learning. I love working with the GlobalPeace Foundation because it is advocating for and implementing model peacebuilding projects around the globe. These projects develop constructive personal and political relationships across ethnic, class, national, and racial boundaries. These projects show that resolving injustices in nonviolent ways and that transforming structural conditions that generate conflict is possible, really feasible, and sustainable. I believe that by involving and including people actively, people can and have experiential learning experiences. These experiences will put them quite naturally into an OS update mode, giving people a natural opportunity to update their perspectives. However, in this very fast-changing world, it is often the young people who are the first adopters. They're most able to keep up with the relentless pace of change and the never-ending arrival of new things in technology. You know, I'm only in my 40s, and I remember my first music records I purchased. You know, these were large, black, these LPs. You put them on record players, and you put a little needle on top, and I just made myself feel really old. To set up this camera, I had to ask my 14-year-old, and man, he made it happen. But not to belabor the point, young people are leapfrogging, adopting to tech stuff at an unbelievable fast pace. Great innovators have created marvelous, value-neutral solutions to age-old problems, from the mobile supercomputers we all carry around, super-fast electric cars, and new voice-over IP, Zoom, social networks, you name it. When I was a kid, there was a real tremendous lag on phone calls. It's like, hey mom, tick, 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 tick. How are you? Tick, 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 tick. And then suddenly crunchy noises because both spoke at the same time. Now when I WhatsApp call my buddies down in Cagayan de Oro, Mindanao, it sounds like they're sitting right next to me. And that's when I call them from the US. It's really amazing what technology has achieved. But these technologies also put tremendous power and access to information to ever younger and younger people who may not have fully matured yet. And as you know well, how technologies are used and what they're used for is up to the individual user. It can be really, really, really beneficial, but think of social media-based online bullying. Even if not really meant or intended to, we can read every day in the news how it has driven some person to sad actions, even suicide and other horrible results. We need to make sure that our young people understand not only how to use things and technology, but what to use them for. And maybe even more importantly, what not to use them for. Valuing every individual's uniquenesses, rights, and creativity is essential. We need to assure that our young people are supported and stay engaged with them and ensure they have the experiences needed to develop their moral and ethical understanding. Furthermore, there is a danger that people become obsessed with things, the new things, and forget what is of true meaning. People, particularly in modern societies, and often people who are more affluent, see these problems in their young people. While people have what they need to physically live rather carefree, they seem to struggle with why and for what to live. It is clear to me that external things and economic growth alone does not provide all that we need. Here at the GlobalPeace Foundation, we believe that moral and innovative leadership development needs to be stressed in the home, in the school, as well as the community, so that we can ensure that the leadership of tomorrow has the implements and the fortitude to deal not just practically, but also purposefully with all that the ever-changing world is throwing at them. I understand that many of you are competing for potential sponsorships and grants with your projects. And while you're developing and implementing your projects in an effort to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, please do not forget that the practical approach to a problem can never overshadow or come at the expense of any other person's uniquenesses. I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
That was an incredibly meaningful message. Thank you very much, Mr. Bessell. And thank you, SM Cares and the Global Peace Foundation, for continuously bringing us the Global Youth Summit. Now, we are very fortunate to have with us the resident representative of the United Nations Development Program, or UNDP Philippines. He is a seasoned development practitioner with more than 27 years in the development sector. So to deliver us a special message, please welcome Mr. Selva Ramachandran.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank the Global Youth Summit organizers, SM Cares and Global Peace Foundation for inviting me to deliver a message in this summit that brings together leading international experts, policy makers, and peace advocates for a youth-focused discussion on achieving the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals through youth collaboration, moral leadership, and innovation. I'm even more thankful to be in the company of more than 5,000 youth globally, including the Philippines, who are eager to learn, share, and take action to achieve the global goals. The Global Youth Summit has been continuously reaching out to youth across the globe, with 67,500 engaged in 9 years of cultivating and advocating for youth development. Making the youth as primary movers of the SDGs, the Global Youth Summit fosters meaningful engagement with the generations of today through effective collaboration, leadership, and innovation. Last 3rd April 2021, UNDP Philippines organized a pilot consultation to understand the priorities of youth in the Philippines. It revealed that among the youth's top areas of concern are globalization, geopolitics and power, conflict and disasters, and the climate emergency. Very, very important subject matter emerging. On the other hand, majority of our young respondents expressed hope for the country's post-COVID recovery, digital inclusion, and financing, growth, work, and future economies. Early this week, the United Nations Development Programme in the Philippines has embarked on a collective effort bringing together a number of community partners to open opportunities for young Filipinos to have their voices heard, imagine a better 2030, and come up with the concrete recommendations on how they and the many ecosystem players can contribute to the world we want. The priority areas of young people clearly resonate with the Global Youth Summit's call to engage the youth in the same themes. These numbers are reminders to leaders in development that Filipino youth are hopeful of a better world of 2030. Our continuous efforts on achieving the SDGs by leaving no one behind allow us to resolve the challenge after the other together. Youth-focused events such as Global Youth Summit give light to building the leaders of tomorrow by inviting leaders and innovators to educate the youth and prepare them for the next step forward. During the 2021 ECO-SOC Youth Forum, the issues and priorities highlighted by young participants included the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, particularly its effect on human health, the environment, and the food systems. They highlighted the need for youth to make informed decisions on food choices through increasing global education on the healthiest and most sustainable options for the benefit of both individuals and the environment. As such, this year, the theme of Youth Day is Transforming Food Systems, Youth Innovation for Human and Planetary Health. With the world's population expected to increase by 2 billion people in the next 30 years, stakeholders recognize that simply producing a larger volume of healthier food more sustainably will not ensure human and planetary well-being. Other crucial challenges must be equally addressed, such as the interlinkages embodied by 2030 agenda, including poverty reduction, social inclusion, healthcare, biodiversity conservation, and climate change mitigation. The UN acknowledges the need for inclusive support mechanisms that ensure the youth continue to amplify efforts collectively and individually to restore the planet and protect life while integrating biodiversity in the transformation of food systems. This is in line with the government priorities for youth development embodied in the mission of National Commission for Filipino Youth, basically to look at 4 issues. Be healthy, educated, patriotic, globally mobile, and active in government and civil society. Live in a peaceful, secure, and socially inclusive society where there is respect for and equality across genders, faith, and cultures. Engage in gainful economic activity across various local and sectors, and lastly, access, use, and transform technology, information, and services for betterment of society. In closing, I would like to mention that UNDP strongly believes that empowered Filipino youth can take charge in designing the future as agents of change through leadership, innovation, and entrepreneurship. UNDP also focuses on targeted underrepresented sectors such as those who are out of school, consider themselves as part of religious or ethnic minority, differently able, LGBTQ, plus women and affected by crises including conflict and disasters. This is why UNDP has created open and action-oriented platform available for youth. As a starting point, UNDP and its sister UN agencies in the Philippines offer many opportunities from training to ideation along with key ecosystem players whose work revolve around youth change making. UNDP has the Movers program. It is a regional movement of volunteers who develop SDGs awareness, entrepreneurial mindsets, and 21st century skills by conducting localized training at grassroots levels. It uses a training of trainer approach and works with community partners to target harder to reach groups and support youth collabs objective to have no youth behind. UNDP also offers ideation workshops for those who are ready to act for change and shape the world we want through our Youth Social Innovation Lab. In the lab, you will learn how to create solutions to communities' most pressing challenges and how you can make it sustainable. You will be linked to mentors and many opportunities to help you grow and scale up. Finally, UNDP calls for a different and more holistic approach to youth change making, instilling entrepreneurial values and skills at even a younger age is crucial. At the same time, creating a support system and enabling environment for youth to thrive is critically valuable. As such, enablers and ecosystem players need to come together, get outside of our silos, and reach out to more young people, especially those who belong to underrepresented sectors. The National Youth Commission projects that by 2022 there will be 32 million Filipino youth aged from 15 to 30. UNDP believes that youth are best prepared now than any other time to engage with the world and influence its trajectory. With much talent and human resource, the youth view in the world works of the former UN Secretary Ban Ki-moon could be the first generation in history that can eradicate poverty and last generation that can reverse climate change. All over the world, young people are responding to present-day challenges with innovative approaches and fresh ideas, building bridges and creating the world they want. You are leading development for yourself, your communities, and your societies. We will support you as you support and inspire more Filipino youth to do the same. As we celebrate International Youth yesterday, I hope that you, young and other older people alive, have come to realize that the success of any national or global effort will not be achieved without the meaningful participation of young people. Help us spread the message. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a successful summit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramachandran. It's such an honor to have you with us today. But, before we get started with day one of our virtual Global Youth Summit, again, we would like to thank the organizations who worked hard to make this virtual summit happen. Thank you once again to the GlobalPeace Foundation, SM Cares, Consuelo Foundation, CIE British School, Rotary Club of Makati Circle of Friends, Nestlé Philippines, and Unilever, along with Globe. We have a lot of games and exciting prizes in store for all of you in the next 2 days. Kaya naman, listen to each speaker very well and tweet us your takeaway from the talk. Share the GYS takeaway or the hashtag GYS takeaway that gave you the most impact. We will also be doing a GYS Trivia Quiz Bee powered by Quizzes. Now listen to this, a total of 25,000 pesos worth of SM shopping vouchers from SM Cares and SM Supermalls, and 20,000 pesos worth of Nestlé vouchers will be given away. Sounds great, right? Exciting. So pay close attention and tweet away your hashtag GYS takeaway and participate in our GYS Trivia Quiz Bee.
Those are all super duper exciting, Cholo. And like what I mentioned earlier, SM Malls is now online and it is currently available in SM Mega Mall, North EDSA, Mall of Asia, and on August 16, in just a few days, in Fairview as well. Now you can enjoy shopping guaranteed authentic items from a wide variety of retail brands, restaurants, and hashtag tech assured gadgets from Cyberzone. At the comfort of your home, by the way, you also don't need to worry about multiple delivery fees because you can purchase from different brands or restaurants all in one checkout.
Talk about convenience, Micah. And for even greater news for us this GYS, for those who are residing in Metro Manila, if you download the SM Malls online app now, you will have a chance to win 2,000 pesos worth of shopping vouchers from SM Malls online. Grabe, ang daming pa-premios, so many prizes for everyone. So here's what you need to do. Download the app via the link or QR code flashed on your screen right now. You can see it there. Post a photo on Facebook with a picture of the SM Malls online app on your phone and use the hashtag GYS2021 and hashtag Global Youth for SDGs. And tag SM Malls online. That's basically it. Just make sure to put your post in public. Again, this is only available for Metro Manila residents only. So what are you waiting for, guys? Download the SM Malls online app now. And for this day, we will get 5 lucky winners of that 2,000 pesos worth of SM shopping vouchers. And tomorrow, another 5 will be selected.
Thank you very much, Cholo. For those who are wondering, the topics for this year's summit came from the survey results that the Global Peace Foundation conducted early this year. Our topics for day one include good health and well being, public health, ensuring community safety in the time of pandemic, and quality education, soft skills education, education for future success, both of which are very important and, of course, relevant today. So, for all of you guys who are planning to post on your social media, which you totally should, don't forget to use our hashtag for this year's summit, hashtag GYS2021, and, of course, hashtag GYS takeaway for your takeaway lessons. All right, everybody, let us get started. The global health emergencies, such as COVID 19, have proven how critical society's physical, mental, and as well as social being are in achieving sustainable development. SDG 3 aims to ensure healthy lives and as well as promote well being at all ages as it recognizes the interdependence between health and the nation's development. This goal acknowledges that we, as a united nation, can win against all health adversities.
So now our first speaker is a licensed medical doctor, public health advocate, #1 TikTok edu creator in 2020, and top creative award winner at the TikTok Awards Philippines 2021. It is my honor and my pleasure to welcome our first speaker, Dr. Kilimanguru Tiwaquen.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Yes, you may all know me as Dr. Kilimanguru on social media, or better known as Doc Char on TikTok. Today, we will be talking about public health, ensuring community safety in the time of pandemic. Now, public health is something that I do advocate for. I do my best to educate as much as I can through my platforms while maintaining a funny face. No, just kidding. All right. Now, to open our presentation for today, I open to you this quote. The two words information and communication are often used interchangeably, but they signify quite different things. Information is giving out, and communication is getting through. This is by Sydney Harris. I wish I thought about that myself so I'd look smarter for all of you. But yes, this seemed a very appropriate phrase for us to follow throughout this discussion. Now, the key to community safety is education, specifically public health education. When the public is knowledgeable, we move towards preventing the occurrence of disease, if not preventing the worsening of disease. Knowledge is indeed power, but its power can only be fully realized when that knowledge is shared. As a healthcare professional, being blessed with the opportunity to learn about the human body, the diseases affecting it, and how to manage them, I find it unfair that only we in the healthcare field have this knowledge. Knowledge about health shouldn't be for the privileged only, it should be for everyone. I'm not saying that we should all go around and play doctor. What I'm trying to say is everyone should know the basics: proper hygiene, what to eat, what not to eat, the basic management for common infectious diseases and common lifestyle diseases. How do we handle this? It's through prevention. And yes, cures do exist, but not everyone is fortunate enough to access them. Knowing the current state of our country, it is but right to put emphasis on preventive measures. We keep saying that prevention is better than cure. Why? It's because we not only prevent the patient from acquiring the disease, we prevent them from spending a lot of money on the cure. Now, most diseases are preventable, like all the infectious diseases, like dengue, typhoid, STD, COVID, etc. And also lifestyle diseases like hypertension, diabetes mellitus type 2, type 1 is not preventable, it's inherited, stroke, and heart attack. With public health education, we can actually lessen the burden brought about by these diseases or prevent the diseases itself. Yes, we doctors do acknowledge that other diseases exist other than COVID. I think there's this misconception that the hospital is filled only with COVID patients, but that's not true at all. Yes, we are living in the time of pandemic, but that doesn't mean other diseases have stopped existing. That's why we're overcrowding in the hospitals, understaffed. Even before the pandemic, hospitals have been busy treating other diseases, and hospitals have been reaching full capacity even before COVID. Now, the pandemic has doubled the number of patients, but definitely has not doubled the number of healthcare workers, which is why preventive measures are important because, admittedly and evidently, we lack the resources, and the most affordable way, actually, even the free way, of lessening the number of patients is prevention through public health education. Diseases don't have a vacation. Every second, someone is getting sick, but we can prevent them from getting sick. Now, our main directive now is making sure majority of our fellow Filipinos are not just aware of these preventive measures, but are understanding of why we need to do these preventive measures. Okay, we need to go beyond awareness and actually inculcate understanding to the audience. The information is available online. Yes, they might be aware of it. Yes, they may know about it, but do they understand? Everything everybody needs to know about COVID, the vaccines, the variants, and health measures are readily available online for free. You don't need to pay a subscription monthly. You don't need a credit card to log in to be able to access the information that will save your life. Everything is on the internet, but why isn't everyone seeing them? So these are some of this is one of the problems that I observed personally being a educational content creator online. In particular, in our country, the information that is reaching the masses is the wrong one. Most people don't visit the CDC website or the DOH website because, in all honesty, it's plain. It's boring. It's not entertaining. But the facts are there. Should facts be entertaining? Shouldn't they just be facts? And whoever reads them should just read them? Most of the readily available information online is also in English. We live in the Philippines. For us to be able to connect to every single Filipino, we have to speak Tagalog. I've experienced this trying to get my content out there on social media. People started watching and listening to me when I spoke our language, the Filipino language. The masses are easily intimidated by big, fancy, and technical words. They don't want to they don't want to hear that. They want to be spoken to as if we were just friends drinking juice, drinking juice, eating chips, watching Netflix. Nothing too formal, nothing too professional. Then again, we are professionals, so we should act professional. But if we do that, we sacrifice educating only a few and not the majority. Indeed, the information is there, it reaches some people, but it doesn't reach enough people. So, as you can see, Filipinos love chismis, even when evidence is lacking, and Filipinos are indifferent towards facts, even if it comes from the most credible person in the room. But why? It's because chismis is engaging and facts are boring. The public are into chismis, the fake news. Why do people love watching and listening to them? And why are people more engaged with something that doesn't even have basis? Misinformation is presented in such a way that appeals to emotion. The masses love drama. And when we're stating facts, legitimate information, I mean, we don't go all dramatic and say, "Oh, COVID is affecting each and everyone." We don't present it in that way. I mean, we present it professionally in all seriousness. This is just a personal theory, but anything that is portrayed in the chismis style is immediately interesting. Hey, did you hear about this? You know what? I heard our neighbor got a vaccine and he said he turned into a magnet. When you present it like that, it's so interesting. You want to listen to it. When you hear the tone, it's very exciting. And when you listen to, for example, your teacher, everything is presented in a serious tone, in a serious manner, because that is the setting. We need to let the listener, the audience, know that this is something serious, which is why facts are innately, I don't know, boring, right? And people love listening to chismis because it's easy to understand. It's simple, direct to the point. It doesn't have evidence, no facts at all, no research to back it up. But the misinformation prevails because it touches the hearts of the Filipinos. Whereas legitimate, credible information, on the other hand, is plain, no emotions at all. It's just credible, factual, evidence based information. Now, what if we talked about COVID in a serious manner? This is how we usually present it, no, seriously, in a webinar, in a medical webinar. The Delta variant is reported to spread 4 times faster than the original. With that being said, cases are on the rise. But when you say it in a different manner, like let's say you're just having coffee at the coffee shop, of course. Hey, did you hear about the Delta variant? It's literally spreading faster than the original one. One person with Delta can infect 4 to 6 people in a room. The original COVID could only infect two. The Delta variant is 4 times more aggressive. You see, when you present it like that, it's like easier to understand. It's less intimidating. You're more willing to listen to that. You're more interested. This may not be true for all, but professionals are in general not entertainers. So professionals present things in such a way that should be presented plainly. These are the facts, this is it. So if you find it interesting or not, that's up to you. Sometimes the public can be selectively deaf to those who speak intelligibly, Well, because they are difficult to understand and may come off intimidating, even if not intended. At the end of the day, the credible ones, the professional ones, they don't really care if they appeal to the masses because they're too busy doing other things. Like doctors, I mean, after the talk, they go and see patients. Okay, they're not trained to be actors, hosts. They're just trained to be doctors who share information. They don't care if more than 90% of the audience is listening. All they care about is that they spoke the truth, they supported their argument with evidence, and justified their logic with hard facts. Who are the people who care about that? It's usually the people who are in the same field as the professional who is speaking, or those who have the same passion, or those who have the same advocacy. But should we limit our target audience only to those who can understand us? Should we only speak to those who know the words pathophysiology, ACE1 receptors, cytokine storm, hemoperfusion, and other technical terms? We are concerned about community safety. And those in the community come from different backgrounds and different professions, which is why we need to adjust. The real enemy here is misinformation. It spreads faster than COVID, it spreads faster than the actual, legitimate, credible information. And what's really scary about misinformation being more predominant on social media, especially, is that trust is lost for those who are credible to speak about it. Like some people lose trust uh, to doctors. They don't trust some doctors anymore because of the misinformation. The truth becomes peripheral. They know the truth is there, but they're more focused on the misinformation that is being presented to them because it's louder. It's louder for some reason. It's louder than the truth, and the reality is distorted. They're confused now, and that leads to rules being broken. But worry not, we can fight misinformation. We have to think like advertisers. We have to think like genius marketing strategists. We have to find a way to make legitimate information fun and not present it as something plain, boring, like classroom setting. I mean, yes, the classroom can be fun, but most of the time, I mean, it's all very monotonous. But since we are on social media and we can use social media as a powerful tool to spread information, we should find ways to not just spread it, but get through the audience. So, how do we do that? How do we fight misinformation? How do we make the truth louder than the lies? So, we have to speak their language because that's the thing that conspiracy theorists are doing right. That's the one that they are really good at. They speak the language of the masses. The community is always ready to listen as long as it is easy to understand. That is what we should always remember. Explain it in the easiest way possible. And then we have to amplify the truth. Okay? We should not attack platforms of those who promote misinformation, because the more we engage with those who promote misinformation, the more their engagement rises. I mean, even if we correct them in the comment section and we share their posts and correct it, the fact that they're getting engagement spreads the misinformation. So ignore the misinformation and just use your platform to amplify what is true. Do not address the misinformation anymore because you're giving them more platform when we should be giving more platform to the truth. And also, when we speak to the audience, we should show that we care. We should take the gentle approach and not be, because I do understand that professionals are very annoyed when someone who is not in the field is talking more confidently and feels that they are more correct, even though they don't have the license, the credibility, the papers to prove how credible they are. the professionals tend to get very angry, and they tend to express themselves online in an aggressive manner. But no, 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 no. We need to take time, gather ourselves, and choose our words carefully, and make sure that the person watching us knows that we care about them, that we are willing to help them. And of course, the most important thing is we should always present evidence. Yes, I know presenting evidence can be boring, but it is part of what destroys misinformation. Evidence is always stronger than misinformation as long as we present it in a fun way. We have to find a way to communicate to the audience, because this is what will save us all. I mean, it might sound dramatic. I mean, saving us all. Because, like I said, misinformation, it just it quickly spreads. Like it's more viral than the person who worked hard on their content that is research based. It's actually quite concerning. And all of this, we can do it through social media. Like I said a while ago, it is a powerful tool. You might think it's toxic. You might think it is, but it's only toxic if you follow the wrong people. It can be something good, it can be used to great purpose, because everyone is on Facebook, TikTok especially, what's up, and Instagram, Twitter. That's not the usual sources of information. I mean, we should be going to like CNN, CDC, the official DOH website, but nobody really takes the time to go to Google and type those things. And since we care about the community's safety, we need to know where the community is. Where are they most of the time? And they are on social media. So we need to invade social media in some way and make some noise, educational noise, and make it enjoyable for them. Make health a fun thing. I mean, I know it sounds impossible to make science into something interesting. I mean, if science is really your passion, but we need to make science something interesting for everyone, even if they come from a different course, even if they come from a different background, from a different profession. We need to make it interesting, because hindi hindi pwede na yung mga magagaling is yung mga magagaling na. We need to take time also to educate those who do not have access to the information, those who are not privileged to be as educated as you, to be as well informed as you. We need to focus on them as well, because they need the protection. We all need the protection. Those who are protected should not be limited to, like I said, the privileged. Protection should be for everyone. And with that, we should not inform but communicate. We should go the extra mile than just putting the information out there. We shouldn't just let the people see the information. We should find ways to make them understand it, process it, and apply it. Once again, this is Dr. Kilimanguru. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Doc. Grabe, we learned so much from you. Super informative, and I think you just really magnified the importance of inclusivity and as well as
Mhm.
education. I remember
Yes.
I was talking to this woman, and she told me that at first she was so scared of the side effects of the COVID vaccine. And
Mhm.
then he told me that someone spoke to her much simply about the importance of it. And then that's what got her to get vaccinated. So it's exactly how you explain. And I think it's also a matter of the position of the heart. Like if you're the one spreading the information, na dapat your heart should really be for the safety of the people looking after and not simply to preach at them, right? So
Exactly.
thank you very much. Love your message. Cholo?
Thank you.
For me naman, I've gotten so many things from your talk. No, I specifically love what you said about medical knowledge is not just only for the privileged, but for everyone. And I love
Yes.
that because,
Right.
information shouldn't just be understood by those who can speak English, those who can read 10, 15 pages of scholarly
Yeah.
documents, right? It should be understood by everyone because COVID and other sicknesses isn't just a battle for the privileged, but it's a battle that everyone needs to fight together. So I really love that. And I
Exactly.
love how you said that language is important, the means of communicating is important, and
Right.
how to make it fun is also important so that not only do they understand it, but they absorb it and apply it to their lives and they pass it on, hopefully, to all of the people, not just close to them, but everyone that they meet around them. So thank you so much, Doc.
Yes, it's an honor. I'm glad you guys picked something up from that top. My goodness, I was so nervous.
You did great. And actually, to everybody watching right now, we have 5 minutes for question and answer with Dr. Kilimanguru. And I hope that
Awesome.
you have already prepared your questions. And for those of you who want to share their learning, send us a tweet using our hashtag for today, hashtag GYS Takeaway. And you might be one of the 10 winners of 1,000 pesos
Wow.
worth of SM shopping vouchers from SM Cares and SM Supermalls, and one of the 10 winners of 1,000 pesos worth Nestle vouchers. So again, don't forget to tweet us using hashtag GYS Takeaway.
And so I think our questions will pop up on our screen. So we have one right now from Arlene Albao. Doc Kilimanguru, I love watching you, and the topic is very timely because there are videos and news circulating that the vaccines that were injected to us were very harmful and will cause death to those who are vaccinated like us, and worse, the vaccine content of HIV virus. Is it true? Are we going to die after 3 years?
Well, okay, interesting
Very
question.
specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, very specific. Well, you know what? Anything that is being given to us, like all the vaccines right now, they have undergone clinical trials. Okay, they have been proven to be safe, and nobody's going to die after 3 years from the vaccine. This is what will be saving us. Actually, this is what will make us survive for the next 3 years because you have higher chances of dying from COVID than dying from the vaccine itself. I mean, nobody's going to die from the vaccine, okay? As long as you're not contraindicated. All right, just make sure you don't have any history of allergies. Make sure you are medically cleared. As long as you sought consult before taking the vaccination, you're good to go. Okay, the vaccines are here. They are meant to save us, to get us out of the pandemic, because I'm sure everyone here is excited to go out without their masks so everyone can see your
Right.
smile.
Yes, we are also excited to do that. That's why everybody should get vaccinated because it is true. Yes, Doc, you said it yourself that we are not going to die after 3 years from getting the vaccine. It is exactly what's going to save us. And now we are ready for our next question. And this one is from Marjorie May Garfin. Sabi niya, "Hi, Doc Char. My mom is a bedridden for 2 years now due to brain aneurysm. Is it okay for her to get COVID vaccine?"
All right. Now, in general, people who are living with comorbid conditions, so comorbid conditions are chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, kidney problems, thyroid problems, heart problems. They are on the priority list. They are under A3. Yes, they should be vaccinated. However, for your mom's case, it's always wise to go back to your primary care physician, the one who diagnosed your mom and is taking care of your mom. Make sure to get a clearance from her doctor. I mean, I'm not because I don't know your mom's case. Of course, the doctor who is more knowledgeable and more of an expert when it comes to your mom's case is the primary care doctor. So make sure to seek consult first before you get vaccinated. But in general, yes, people with comorbidities, other diseases, lifelong diseases should get vaccinated.
Thank you for that, Doc. It's really nice to get a second opinion. No, it's not safe to
Right.
actually put the decision in your own hands, especially if you know that the case of your family member or yourself is a little bit on the rocky end of the
Yes.
health. So it's nice to actually get second opinion on that one. Here's one question that we got from Zoom. How can we assure that we still maintain our physical health given that we cannot go outside as much as before?
Hmm. Well, oh my goodness, this is a interesting question because as someone who has been able to maintain physical health, well, I don't really go out that much even before the pandemic. Like I don't know, I'm an introvert, but just doing simple home workouts for like at least 30 minutes or maybe even 15 if you're lazy. I mean, I'm a lazy person, honestly. I do workouts like 15 minutes, but you don't have to do the extreme ones. I mean, you don't have to do like high level advanced ones, just as long as your body is moving, and make sure that you can actually eat whatever you want as long as it is in moderation and as long as you are generally healthy. I mean, of course, if you have other conditions like high blood diabetes, you have to follow your diet regimen, but anything in moderation is completely okay. And if you have questions about your health, telemedicine is actually something that is active now at our current situation, because it is much great hassle, going to the hospital, going to the clinics. Doctors are now offering teleconsultation platforms. So look for that. There are a lot available and they are very affordable. There's this one platform, you only get to pay like 60 pesos, some 100 pesos, and you get a consultation for an entire month. So we doctors are here to guide you even if we don't meet face to face. We can guide you online.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Kilimanguru. Once again, Dr. Kilimanguru joining us today on our first day of the Global Youth Summit. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very much,
everyone.
Doc. Bye.
You know,
All
you know
right.
what? It's so amazing. I just have to say this before we move on
Go
that it's
ahead.
so amazing how people like Dr. Kilimanguru use their platform for information, for sharing so much knowledge to people who can't seem to kind of understand what's around, what's online,
Mhm.
what's posted by credible sources. So it's nice that people like him are making an effort to make everything in layman's term.
Right. And not just, a simpler way, but more engaging as well. I'm sure
Mm.
a lot of you have seen his content, not just reliable, but, something for sure you will be able to absorb and understand as someone who doesn't know all those technical terms. So, once again, thank you to you, Doc Kilimanguru. And now it is time for our next speaker. So, this next speaker is the current OIC Undersecretary for the Public Health Services team and the official spokesperson of the Department of Health. She was previously the OIC USEC for Health Regulation Team and Assistant Secretary in charge of the Public Health Services Team. She also acted as OIC Deputy Director General, Filed Regulatory Operation, Food and Drug Administration, Office Director of the Health Facilities and Services Regulatory Bureau, and Chief of the Health Research Division of the Health Policy Development and Planning Bureau.
Aside from public service, she is also committed to nurturing our soon-to-be public health leaders, serving as faculty at the Development Academy of the Philippines and part-time faculty in Ateneo School of Government. She obtained her undergraduate degree in zoology from the University of Santo Tomas, her MD from De La Salle University College of Medicine, and her MPH from the University of the Philippines, Manila.
Everybody, please welcome Dr. Maria Rosario Vergere.
Good afternoon to all of you. First, let me thank Mr. Royston Cabuñag, Program Director for SM Cares, and Mr. Leonard Faustino, Program Director for Global Peace Foundation, for organizing this event and for inviting the Department of Health to this forum and providing us with an avenue to share pertinent updates on the current situation of COVID-19 in the country and the initiatives being taken by the government to ensure community safety during this time of the pandemic. While we continue our vaccination program against COVID-19, we are here to remind the public of our prevent, detect, isolate and quarantine, treat and reintegrate or the PDITR strategies that augment our response since the start of this pandemic. In light of the rising cases in the different regions in the country, these strategies are enforced and are important to mitigate the spread of the transmission and to prevent the overwhelming of our healthcare system. These PDITR strategies had been implemented since the start of the pandemic to ensure a better normal for all of us. To start, let us revisit the framework of the PDITR strategy to understand how the measures respond against the spread of COVID-19. In this slide, we are showing our unified strategy map towards the achievement of the new normal, with the overall impact goals of sustaining low deaths and achieving socio-economic recovery. Strategic focus of reducing cases and transmission, improving the health system, and mitigating socio-economic contraction. Our core strategies are centered on the prevent, detect, isolate, treat, and reintegrate strategies. And operational measures and the attention given to high priority barangays through the coordinated operations to defeat the epidemic code system. To guide our response against COVID-19, we have our 5-point sectoral strategies for our response, and these are: first, increasing resilience; second, stopping transmission; third, reducing contact rate; fourth, shortening the duration of infectiousness; and fifth, enhance quality, consistency, and affordability of care provision. To ensure our implementation and action towards this initiative, we have created our PDITR strategies at the national level and the 6-point response agenda for all of our local governments. We would like to emphasize that the PDITR remains to be our core strategy in the COVID-19 response. The PDITR strategies have been proven to help decrease the number of cases daily and mitigate the complications and danger of mortality caused by COVID-19. First, prevent. To mitigate the further transmission of COVID-19, active case finding through the functional epidemiology and surveillance units are implemented. This is a continued call to all of our local government units to establish and support these disease surveillance units. Second is to detect. Once found, contact tracing is immediately initiated within 24 hours, guided by testing at the appropriate time and appropriate indication. Third is isolate. Mild and asymptomatic cases are to be immediately isolated in our temporary treatment and monitoring facilities, and we recommend these facility-based quarantines as these have lower risk of transmission compared to transmitting the virus at home. And lastly, treat. The vulnerable population, moderate, severe, and critical cases are managed in our hospital facilities to reduce the risk of complications and fatalities. It is also important to understand the lines of defense or our allies in implementing these strategies. The individuals and the households are our first line of defense against COVID-19 as they have the capacity to implement routine disinfection, hand hygiene, cough etiquette, and strict adherence to physical distancing. Our primary care providers, such as our barangay health emergency response teams or the BHERTs, health professionals and workers that reinforce the interventions of our first line of defense through provision of healthcare services throughout the pandemic, and our temporary treatment and monitoring facilities that provide the needed care for cases and close contacts of confirmed cases of COVID-19. These actors in our strategy have a crucial role in ensuring the proper implementation of PDITR strategies across the country. The COVID-19 response remains to be centered around the national framework of this PDITR strategy. This guides the Department of Health along with the other national agencies and local governments to implement the safety measures against COVID-19. With it, we have started the vaccination program along with the objective of gradually and safely reopening up the economy, it is imperative that we reinforce the adherence and implementation of these safety measures. Let us remember that these PDITR strategies are created to be applicable across all settings, especially our workplaces and public spaces. For PREVENT, we highlight the use of administrative and engineering controls, which are important in stemming the transmission of the virus. Through the leadership of the local government units, we ensured the monitoring and implementation of our minimum public health standards. With the implementation of the safety seal certifications, the government assures the consumers and the public that establishments comply with the minimum public health standards and set safety protocols. Each government agency is given an oversight function for the following establishments. Companies and institutions should ensure that there is adequate ventilation, frequent sanitation, physical barriers, and that physical distancing is continuously observed in our workplaces and establishments. To ensure the safety of our employees in the workplace, administrative controls should also be implemented, such as, first, limiting the number of people in the workplace through alternative working arrangements. Second, discouraging face-to-face meetings. Third, performing symptom and temperature screening at points of entry. And fourth, providing shuttle services. Employers should ensure provision of appropriate personal protective equipments, especially in our healthcare settings. Likewise, proper disposal of this infectious waste are paramount to prevent transmission of COVID-19. To provide the public with the capacity to make a healthy and informed decision, the role of effective communication is critical. To achieve this, we have issued memorandums for adoption of the Bida Solution Plus messaging in all minimum public health standards and COVID-related policies and guidelines, and the reiteration on sharing Bida Solution Plus assets through various platforms. We also have signed policies for health and safety protocols for the conduct of film and audiovisual production shoots and audiovisual activities during the COVID-19 pandemic, and clarificatory guidelines on the mandatory use of face shields outside of residence for COVID-19 mitigation with the Department of Health, Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Labor and Employment, Department of Interior and Local Government, Department of Transportation, DPWH, PSC, and GAB. While in the pipeline are joint memo circulars entitled Guidelines on the Gradual Reopening of Campuses of Higher Education Institutes for Limited Face-to-Face Classes during the COVID-19 pandemic. Testing is one of the cornerstones in providing the appropriate management in each COVID-19 case. Hence, we continue to expand our laboratory capacity so that healthcare workers are able to provide timely interventions to individuals who might be infected with COVID-19. We have come a long way in terms of testing. From just one laboratory in February of 2020, we now have a total of 278 licensed COVID-19 testing laboratories across the country, composed of 210 RT-PCR laboratories and 68 gene expert laboratories. We also have increased our testing capacity from 300 tests per day in February of 2020 to an average daily output of 53,619 samples tested for the past 7 days. As of August 8, we have conducted over 17.2 million tests and tested more than 16.1 million individuals. We also are currently using antigen testing in the National Capital Region as part of our strategy in active case finding due to the high number of COVID-19 cases in NCR. Due to the discovery of the COVID-19 variants across the globe, we have been conducting weekly genomic testing of COVID-19 positive samples that meets the set criteria with the University of the Philippines Philippine Genome Center and the University of the Philippines National Institutes for Health. We continuously send all positive samples from international travelers to UP Philippine Genome Center for sequencing. in coordination with OWA and DOTR. We also have instructed disease reporting units in all regions to send samples for sequencing, especially when they detect clustering or unusually high number of COVID-19 cases in their area. As of August 5, the Department of Health, the UPPGC, and the UPNIH has sequenced a total of 10,473 COVID-19 RT-PCR positive samples nationwide. Through biosurveillance, there are more variants being detected among international travelers that further support the need for stronger border control and quarantine and isolation completion by travelers. To complement the intensified border control of the country, the DOH calls the public to strictly and consistently adhere to the minimum public health standards to minimize the risk of exposure and infection. From just one quarantine facility in New Clark City that only catered to our repatriated Filipinos during the early COVID-19 response, we now have a total of 9,510 temporary treatment and monitoring facilities all over the country, with a total bed capacity of 136,915 beds and currently with a 21% occupancy rate. We also have a total of 15 mega TTMFs in NCR, Regions 3 and Region 4A, with a total bed capacity of 2,234 and 53% occupancy rate. Our TTMFs complement our hospitals in the management of COVID-19 cases. Cases must be assessed, triaged, and properly referred so that cases who are asymptomatic or with mild cases may be first referred to these facilities, and that cases with moderate, severe, or critical cases will be accommodated in our hospitals. Isolation facilities should also serve as a step-down healthcare facility for those who are already recovering to decongest our hospitals. To strengthen proper referral of COVID-19 cases to the appropriate facility, the Department of Health instituted the One Hospital Command Center, which facilitates referral and transport of cases to the appropriate health facility. To prevent our healthcare facility from being overwhelmed, we added COVID-19 beds, life-saving ICU beds, and mechanical ventilators to address the growing need of our country in terms of health and critical care capacity. This table shows the increase in COVID-19 beds and at this present time. As part of our PDITR strategy is reintegrate, wherein we ensure the safe and healthy reintroduction of those who got COVID-19 to their communities and to the society, to ensure that those infected with COVID-19 can no longer transmit to their families and even to the community. To do this, confirmed and symptomatic cases should complete the mandatory 10-day isolation and monitor if any symptoms are still there or if any symptoms have resolved. Close contacts must complete the mandatory 14-day quarantine even if they were negative for COVID-19 with the RT-PCR test. Together with the reintegrate, we must ensure that COVID-19 survivors have sufficient mental and emotional services to aid with their mental health needs. Our strategies on reintegration do not solely involve the efforts made to reintroduce an individual into a society. Rather, this also focuses on allowing the whole population to adapt to the new normal. Key considerations for the gradual easing of the lockdown restrictions introduced by many countries in response to the spread of the COVID-19 across the globe varied. The transition out of lockdown is set to be a complex and uncertain phase. Challenges and circumstances vary from country to country, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach. It is vital that we clearly communicate this to the public to build trust and to ensure that people observe restrictions specific to their situation. Approval of decisions to open sectors and specific institutions shall be based on the following components: evidence that COVID-19 transmission is controlled based on the community risk classification level of that specific area. Minimum public health standards and capacities are in place to prevent, to detect, to isolate, to treat and reintegrate cases and close contacts. Outbreak risks are minimized in high transmission and vulnerability settings, particularly in homes for older people, mental health facilities, crowded places of residence, or based on the nature of work. And stakeholders are consulted, aware, engaged, and participating in the preparation for the gradual reopening transition. Vaccinations also serve as a cornerstone in bringing back a semblance of normalcy in our country. The primary goal in identifying the priority populations is to directly reduce morbidities and mortalities and to maintain the most critical essential services. That's why we started vaccinating the healthcare workers, the senior citizens, and individuals with comorbidities first. Second, we want to substantially control transmission and minimize disruption of social, economic, and security functions. Hence, next in line, priority groups included essential workers. While our goal remains to be achieving herd immunity, we have to maximize our current vaccine supplies. We can do this by vaccinating those who are at most risk and vulnerable. By fulfilling our primary and secondary goals, we pave our way to population protection, an important milestone to achieving herd immunity. Through population protection, there will be fewer cases of people being hospitalized or even dying from COVID-19. And lastly, the tertiary goal is to ensure that we resume the country's essential activities to near normal, which covers the rest of the Filipino population. As of August 9, 2021, we have administered more than 24 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccines to our vaccination sites across the 17 regions with Sinovac, AstraZeneca, Gamaleya, Pfizer, Moderna, and Janssen. This included our priority groups from A1 or the healthcare workers, A2, the senior citizens, A3, persons with comorbidities, A4, frontline economic workers, and A5, the poor population. Over 13 million individuals have received their first dose, and over 11 million individuals have completed their full dose regimen. The COVID-19 pandemic has pushed everybody to transfer and convene on the digital stage. This is where a lot of false information are, and the DOH is cognizant of this fact. In order to facilitate the rapid dissemination of correct and reliable information, we engage the public through various digital platforms. We release health advisories and case bulletins through public engagements on the DOH website, Facebook, and Viber pages. We also release frequently asked questions, social media cards, audiovisual presentations for TV and online resources. We also update the public regularly with our situational reports on the status of our regions, healthcare utilization, as well as testing and vaccination efforts. We also recognize the role of the media with regards to disseminating the correct information. For this, we hold regular media fora and press briefings to discuss the most up-to-date and correct information about the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as other issues that may affect health. So this will be my last slide, and I would like to highlight the major lessons we have learned from this pandemic. First, whole of government, whole of system, and whole of society approach is very important. Second, implementing evidence-based strategies based on historical as well as with current data is critical. And third, equipping our citizens with the right information to adequately protect not only themselves, but also their families from COVID-19 is key. The progress of the DOH with the rationalization and implementation of the Universal Healthcare Law was partly catalyzed by the COVID-19 pandemic. As we continue to face this pandemic head-on, we continue to learn, to adapt, and to work towards our goal of providing equitable, accessible, and acceptable quality care for everyone and one. Thank you very much, and good afternoon to all of you.
Thank you so much, Doc Vergere. It is such a pleasure to have you here on the Global Youth Summit 2021. And thank you for the continuous improvement then, no, in addressing the current pandemic. It's very reassuring, especially that our battle is far from over.
Yes, that is right, Cholo. And at this point, we now open the floor for question and answer with Dr. Nika M. Howe, MD, MBA, MSc, OIC Director 3, Systems Integration Team, Disease Prevention and Control Bureau, representing Dr. Maria Rosario Vergere. Please do send in your questions, you guys. So for those of you who want to share your learning, don't forget to send us a tweet using our hashtag GYS takeaway, and you might win SM shopping vouchers from SM Cares and SM Supermalls, and as well as Nestle vouchers.
Let's go, everybody. Do not miss the chance to ask your questions. We have one here from Zoom. I am a person who enjoys being outdoors. However, due to the pandemic, I cannot go outside. What activities can you suggest to recharge myself? Doc Nika?
Thank you. Yeah, and that's a very interesting question. No? And I think the answer to that is really dependent on the person, and it would entail you really thinking and looking within yourself of what are the things that you enjoy and what are the specific reasons that you enjoy those things. Para you can adjust doing that, no, but now within inside your specific household. So for example, if the mechanism of you being recharged is that relationship with other people, you can still do that, no? But now this time through online means, and that means messaging them, calling them, etc. If the mechanism for you to recharge is actually looking at peaceful scenes, for example, nature, etc. That's also something that you can do, but now indoors, no, maybe peaceful artwork, etc. So I think the recommendation there is really understanding what it is that helps you recharge and trying to be creative in finding a way to at least do some semblance of that while you're doing it safely indoors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc Nika. And you are correct. I think there's always a creative way for us to be entertained during this time. So, our next question is from Zoom once again. How can I encourage my parents to get vaccinated? What are your thoughts, Doc Nika?
So the vaccine is really something that is very helpful for all of us in beating this pandemic. Not only because it protects the actual person, no, so the person who will be vaccinated will have less risk of having severe disease and death, no. But the other aspect of it is that you're actually also protecting the people around you, because dahil less transmissible ka, you're also at less risk of passing it on to others. So usually that concept of family, that concept of belonging and you affecting other people have a way of making more people understand the value of doing this, no? That they're doing this not only for themselves, but for also for the people around them. But what you can actually also do is really also talk to your parents. Ano kaya yung dahilan kung bakit ayaw nila magpa-vaccinate, no? So if it's because of maybe fake news that they've been hearing, then you should also explain to them what's the accurate information, and that's the information that's being provided by the Department of Health. So again, parang going to the first question, it's really understanding bakit kaya ayaw nila, no? And trying to figure out why it's there. But the concept talaga of a family, and that's something all of us, I think, understand and appreciate. For the most part, that's really what encourages a lot of people to do this act, not only for themselves, but for everyone around them. Thank you.
I love that, Doc. Tama talaga. It should be that mindset that if you get vaccinated, you protect not only the people you love, but also everyone around you. Here's another question from Zoom. What are your thoughts about the Asian vaccine discrimination by Western countries, despite the fact that the WHO acknowledged those vaccines, particularly those made from China and India?
Yeah. So actually, that's a very unfortunate thing talaga, no? And I think that really comes into specific biases of people or of other things that interact with our thought processes. But as you noted, no, even the international bodies like WHO recognize the value and the safety and the efficacy of all of these vaccines. And you can even find all of these even in the WHO website. So at least for those that have been vetted internationally and even locally with our own Food and Drug Administration, those are very heavily studied, no, by our local experts, by our implementers before we give them out to the general population. So we have to also really be more objective and again, maybe also understand why we have those biases to begin with. But many processes are involved to make sure that whatever is implemented for the whole country is really something that we truly believe in that will work. Thank you.
Yes, that is correct, Doc. And, you know, so many experts came together in order to make this happen. And the WHO will not have approved this if they know that it is not good for the people. Everybody, that was Dr. Nika M. Howe representing Dr. Maria Rosario Vergere. That is it for our Q&A. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
And also, we would like to thank those who shared their questions and topic takeaways. And again, that concludes our first topic on good health and well-being. And at this point, we will be announcing the first winners of vouchers from SM Supermalls and Nestlé. Now, winners were chosen based on their best takeaway tweets of impactful lessons learned from our speakers from the first session. And I've been looking at Facebook, our Facebook Live. I've been checking out the Zoom, and a lot of people have really good takeaways from our talks. So let's see who will win those vouchers.
Yes, I'm excited. All right, let's see the takeaways that we have, starting with, oh, this is small. Am I getting old or the font is just really tiny? All right, so this one is from Shari Le Costales. She says, developing grit may develop in a lot of time, a lot of patience. Hence, every problem is a stepping stone. No matter what the life challenges are, it should never defeat nor define us. Optimism finds opportunities. Yes, I believe she got this from Mr. Royce Cabuñag from earlier. Of course, she used our official hashtags for today. Hashtag GYS 2021. Congratulations, Sherry. You have won yourself 1,000 pesos worth of vouchers.
Second winner, we've got Precious May Damian saying, don't focus on the problem, focus on finding the solution instead. Beautifully said.
I love that. And our next one is from Mark. Congratulations to you. Here's what he tweeted. He said, we need to assure that youths are aware of the danger of technology and focus on the ethical, at the same time, beneficial uses of it for the betterment of the society. Love it. Wow.
Lay Andrea Sebastian is also a winner. She said, what an amazing virtual event where we youth leaders enable us to be inspired, even inside our houses, to engage with other people, especially young ones, and achieve better for all. We make ways. We can't meet in the Mall of Asia Arena, but we make ways.
Yes, and we have this platform, so thank God. Our next winner is Hershey's. Congratulations to you. She says, if you think long and hard enough, regardless of how bad your situation may be, the solutions are there. Don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. I totally agree with this. I think, if we're already in rock bottom, the only way is up. It may not be linear, but someday and sometime you will get there. Congratulations to
I
you.
agree. We have Angge Ibanez saying it's clearly reflects that health is wealth, especially this time of pandemic. If one person is healthy, then that someone can contribute to our community. Staying healthy is a simple contribution to the world. Exactly.
That's right. I love that. Congratulations to you too, Mary. Ang sabi ni Mary, if the wall is too high, try digging or go over it, right? Hashtag
There,
GYS 2021.
there's so many ways. Grace saying grit, opportunity, optimism, and dream big. This spells up God because in everything we do, we shall all do it for God, such that through us, God can make the world good. And without us, He can do nothing. Also, through Him, we can do all things.
All right. And our winner number 9, we have Sir Lubert. Congratulations to you. His tweet says, "This summit is powerful. I agree with you. The development of grit may require a lot of time with an amount of patience, despite the problems and trials we may face in life. It should never give us the reason to give up. Positivity opens a window of opportunities." Yes, indeed.
And our last winner for now, Isai, saying, Mr. Daniel Bessell, do not forget that the practical approach to a problem can never overshadow or come at the expense of any other's uniqueness. Beautifully said.
All right, that is it. Congratulations to all of our winners. To claim your prize, please message SM Cares through the Viber number that is being flashed on your screen at the moment. And also, we are highly encouraging all of you to download SM Malls online. All right, so now we move on to the second topic for today, which is about quality education, soft skills education, education for future success. Education as a human right is such a powerful force in uplifting one's socioeconomic status, indeed. Despite ongoing efforts to better our educational system, a large portion of the global population is still deprived of quality education. With SDG 4, we aim to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all.
Our first speaker on this topic is a board of trustee of SM Foundation and Henry C. Foundation. Chito has worked in various capacities in the areas of engineering, manufacturing, human resource development, communication, corporate affairs, and sustainability, regulatory affairs as well, and crisis management. He was posted overseas as a chief engineer for a Unilever factory in Africa and as project engineer at the Unilever Research and Engineering Division in Holland. He is currently with SM Investments Corporation's Corporate Affairs and Sustainability Group. Let's all welcome Mr. Chito Macapagal.
Good afternoon, Cholo. Good afternoon, Micah. And good afternoon to everyone. It is truly an honor and a pleasure to be joining you this afternoon. And I hope to share with you some of the activities and programs that our foundation is doing. And I hope that I can give you some insight on why we are supporting those programs, particularly education. And I will later give you my personal insight and view on why soft skills is becoming very important to our global youth of today. Now, on growth, just like any company, any country, SM has an ambition to grow sustainably. While Asia is the fastest growing economy in the world, it is also the home to half of the world's problems. Southeast Asia, including the Philippines, has its own share of economic and social development problems. Now, you may have heard this many times before, but let me just say it again till the message will drive us to taking positive actions. Our world is facing significant challenges. Some of them are the growing population and the diminishing resources, congested and unsustainable life in cities, the rising energy cost, or even the lack of it, the scarcity of clean water, our polluted rivers and lakes, billions living below poverty line, some living on $1 or $2 a day, billions of people going to bed hungry, if they can even go to bed and then sleep while hungry, billions of people suffering from obesity and unabated solid waste generation, the high child mortality due to diarrhea, and pneumonia. And of course, today, the global COVID-19 pandemic, which has already killed millions and may be killing some more. Now, amidst all these global and local challenges, we need to continue to grow and grow sustainably. Only through sustainable growth can we create jobs and income for many, not only for us, but also for our shareholders, our employers, our employees, our suppliers, our customers, and the communities where we operate. Now, apart from the above, we do also have a lot of case to really grow sustainably. Some of them includes our consumers already expecting that we can actually supply them with sustainably sourced products that they can buy. Our partners are already depending on us to achieve their own sustainability goals. It's also a source of innovative ideas and continuous improvement. And of course, last but not the least, it helps us save money and as one, eliminate waste. So SM, through its various foundations, namely the SM Foundation, BDO Foundation, and also the personal foundations of Henry C. Sr. and Nanang Felicidad C. Foundation, is supporting the UN 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or commonly known as SDGs. The foundations are focusing their efforts on 5 key areas, and these are the areas of education, health and wellness, farmers training, environmental sustainability, and financial services. These 5 focus areas, we believe, can lead us to address and impact the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The foundation, augmented by corporate social responsibility, CSR, and CSR programs of the SM subsidiaries, serve as our vehicle to deliver our commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals and grow in a sustainable way. Now, these areas will also help the country achieve its strategic goals in order to grow, which includes infrastructure development, human capital development, and safety nets for basic social services. Now, of the various programs of the SM Foundation, let me focus on our response and efforts on the SDG 4, which is quality education. This actually will help us address the development of human capital and hopefully poverty as well. Now, on the quality of education, for us to achieve this, SM would like to help our country produce future-ready citizens by investing in our youth through the foundation's scholarship programs, both on college and technical and vocational. We also want to put more children in schools by building more schools for both elementary and secondary schools. We also support various infrastructure projects for the universities and colleges in the country. Now, these are all ably pursued with much passion and dedication by the SM Foundation's team, led by no less than our Executive Director, Ms. Debbie C., and supported by our Program Directors, Ling Ling Langsang and Jury Suliman. Now, what can scholars do to maximize the opportunities and results, maximize the impact and results for this opportunity? Now, this is the same question actually for the rest of those whose education are being financed by their parents, families, or are self-supporting. Now, it is our proposition, and by many HR practitioners and leaders of organizations and businesses, that our students and youth in general try investing their time and attention in developing their soft skills. Now, why? Why soft skills? Because soft skills are highly sought by recruiting teams of companies. Graduates who possess such skills, along with excellent academic performance have better chance at getting employed. And there are many soft skills that actually you can develop, but topping the list are as follows: leadership, communication, creative problem solving, decision making, working in teams, collaboration, time management, and critical and innovative thinking, just to name a few. I'm sure you've heard most, if not some of this soft skills. Now, many years ago, a high premium has been placed on recruits for the new hires with professional and technical skills. Well, today it is already a given and an expectation. So if you're an engineer, you better be good in engineering, whatever your specialization will be. You better know your mechanics. If you're an accountant, you should know your balance sheet, how to prepare an income statement, and so on and so forth. That should be sufficient. But human resources are now looking for specific competencies and soft skills for all levels of leadership in the organization. It will be a big plus if students also develop their external orientation, as they are likely to interact with customers and other stakeholders in any organizations that they will be joining. Well, gone are the days that you'll be staying on your seat, on your table, or in your room. Nowadays, you would have to interact with somebody outside your businesses. Well, you may happen to also sharpen your senses. You may want to sharpen your senses on organizational awareness, that is knowing what's going on. Try to look at the trends, the issues developing as it affects us, all of us, and of course, you in particular. Multi-skilling, for one, is not only limited in the manufacturing sector. Try to use this opportunity during our lockdowns to acquire new set of skills. It is also now common for colleges and universities to require a student to spend time or even a semester to do an on-the-job training, a traineeship, or practicum. Well, OJTs and practicums are excellent opportunities to demonstrate your skills, your competence and proficiency to a prospective employer. Now, while soft skills together with technical competence are important, it is not the only factor for achieving success. Well, year in and year out, we see hundreds of stories of personal struggles and successes in SM Foundation's graduate scholars alone. Lifelong learnings and overcoming personal challenges are still considered as some of the best teachers. So now, allow me to share with you a quote that may sum it all up. To quote Ziglar, your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. At this point, may I invite you to watch this video.
Nagulat na lang po kami nung biglang nag-shake po yung pader namin. So naisipan ni Papa na dumaan na lang kami sa mga natitirang yero, tapos dumaan sa kable. Hindi ko po maisip yung possibility na baka mamatay kami sa araw na yun. Yung after ng Yolanda, yung una kong inisip is yung survival ng family namin, yung kakainin namin, at ikalawa is yung education ko. Yung una ko, narinig ng mama ko sa neighbor namin na yung about dito, yung SM Scholar na magkakaroon ng exam sa LNU. Ayun, na-happy po ako. As in, nagtatatalon po ako noon. First step na to para sa pagbabago. Kita ko yung Yolanda bilang challenge sa akin. And dahil sa SM, natutunan ko rin na mangarap ulit. As SM Scholar at Yolanda victim, I'll do my best to Also, help other people who needs my help as a future teacher.
I am Lady Alfame A. Fermano, cum laude of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English in Leyte Normal University.
Well, this is Lady Alfame today. She's currently working in St. Paul's School of Professional Studies as a college instructor. Can we now watch the other video, please?
Ma, nakagraduate na po ako. Yun dating tirahan po namin sa aking tindahan namin nasunog kasi nagtitinda po kami ng paputok nung grade 3 ako. Tapos may nagtapon po ng yosi, so nasunog yung buong bahay namin. So yun po yung dahilan kaya nagpalipat-lipat po kami ng bahay. Ako po sa yung mom ko, tumira po kami sa kalsada, yung tipong kalsada po yan, tapos lalagyan mo lang ng karton, tapos doon ka nahihiga. Tapos ano yun, nakita ng mom ko yung trauma ko. Kaya ang ginawa niya, nagkatulong siya doon sa pinsan niya. Tapos hindi rin po masyadong maganda yung relationship. Kaya ang ginawa ng mom ko, nag-decide siya na mag-move out na lang kami, tapos magtinda na lang siya. Tapos nag-bed space po kami. After po nun, hindi naman po kaya ma-bed space kaming dalawa or mag-rent kami ng room. Kaya ang ginawa po ng mom ko, nasa labas lang siya matutulog. Tapos ako po yung pinag-bed space niya kasi yun lang po yung kaya namin. Looking back, parang hindi ko kaya. Parang sobrang hirap. Siyempre, ang hirap mabuhay kapag ikaw lang mag-isa, yung wala kang kampe. Pero alam mo yun, binibigyan niya ako ng mga taong hindi ko ini-expect na makakatulong sa akin. So talagang nafe-feel ko na ginagabayan niya talaga ako. So kahit gano'n mahirap yung buhay, parang damang-dama ko na hindi talaga ako ganun nahihirapan kasi may mga blessings pa rin na binibigay si Lord. Gustong-gusto ko pumunta ng foundation. Alam mo yan, nakita ko yung life in black and white eh. And may mga taong katulad ko rin. Gusto ko rin po sila matulungan tapos maabot nila yung mga pangarap nila. Ako currently nagtatrabaho as senior associate sa SGP. Usually malalaking clients yung mga hinahawakan ko. Mainly oil and gas industry. Tapos, aside from my work sa SGV, nag-work din ako as part-time tax consultant and financial advisor. Nung nakapag-work na ako, parang doon ko naramdaman yung financial freedom na kapag may gusto kang gawin, kaya mo nang bilhin. Nakapagbili ako ng laptop, ng phone, yung gusto kong phone. Meron din ako investment sa stock market, sa mutual funds. Nakakapag-travel din ako outside. So, hoping makabili ako ng condo unit before the end of December this year. Medyo mahirap kasi nung SM scholar ako dahil nga walang sumusuporta sa akin, so kailangan kong mag-work mag-isa. 1 week, halos wala akong kinakain, so tubig-tubig lang. Pag wala akong pamasahe from bahay hanggang sa school, lalakarin ko siya. Dati mahal sa akin yung 100 na pagkain. Pero ngayon, parang kaya ko na. Wala na akong problema doon. Naalala ko noon si Tatang, pumupunta siya sa every General Assembly noong time namin. Nandun siya, in person siya pumunta. Isipin mo sino ba naman kami, di ba? Kami na nga tinutulungan niyo pero nag-e-effort pa rin kayo. Nakaka-inspire talaga. Goal talaga nila na matulungan kami. Parang binuboost niya yung moral ko. Parang doon mag-ignite yung passion mo, parang ba't ba ako nandito? Siguro yung mapapayo ko sa mga future SM scholar is hindi magiging madali yung laban, pero wag mo kakalimutan kung para kanino ka lumalaban. Yung nanay ko kasi, mag-isa niya akong tinaguyod. Bago siya mawala, ang lagi niya sabi sa akin, gusto ko hindi mo danasan kung ano yung nadadanas ko. Yung mga pinangahawakan ko na parang, kasi mag-isa lang ako sa buhay. Every night bago ako matulog, pinapaalala ko sa sarili ko kung bakit ako lumalaban. Kung bakit dapat ako makapagtapos ng kolehiyo. Maraming salamat po sa SM at kay Tatang. Dahil sa inyo po, kaya narating ko kung nasaan ako ngayon. May mga panahon na nag-aaral ako na pinanghihinaan ako ng loob. Pero yung SM ang nagsilbing tungkod, kaya ako nakakatuyo. At ito rin yung naging pundasyon para maabot ko ang aking mga pangarap. Ang natutunan ko bilang SM Scholar ay magkaroon ng tapang at lakas ng loob. At yung tapang at lakas ng loob na yun yung dala-dala ko ngayon para sa kinabukasan. Muli, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng bumubuo ng SM. Ako po si Ray Boyko. I'm a proud SM Scholar alumnus batch 2017.
For the youth of today, but actually you're also inspiring us in SM Foundation to further improve the quality of our programs and for us to also increase the reach of our programs by creating strategic partnership and collaboration. So now let me close by saying that our founder, the benefactor of our scholars, Mr. Henry C. Sr. and Mrs. Felicidad C., or Tatang and Nanang as we call them, believe that the key to helping a family overcome poverty, not only for today but for generations to come, is to educate a child. The foundation challenges you to change your life and your family's life through education too. A pleasant day. God bless all of you, and may you all strive to be successful in life. Stay safe, everyone. Maraming salamat.
That was such a wonderful and heart-tugging message, Mr. Chito Macapagal. Thank you so much. And you have given so many SM Foundation has given so many opportunities at education to these scholars. And the thing about going to school is that you don't only get to learn about these subjects like math, science, English, and all that, but they learn those soft skills. They get to excel in their interpersonal skills, leadership skills that will get them through after they graduate and help give a future to their families. Once again, Mr. Chito, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
And I also want to add, I want to show my appreciation because ESM Foundation is trying to make the world a better place to live in their own way. And I think that's what we need right now. In this time, we need individuals, corporations, the government to work together to make this world a better place and, to just inspire more people to work harder so that they can achieve their own dreams as well. So thank you, Sir Chito.
Thank you.
That is right, Cholo. So for now, we have 5 minutes for question and answer with Mr. Chito Macapagal, and we hope you have already prepared your questions just like last time. And for those of you who will not be accommodated, you can still share your learning by tweeting us and sending to us those learnings via the hashtag GYS Takeaway.
All right, so we have our first question here, Sir Chito. From Zoom, how can we show professionality in our classes and work despite the work from home setup?
Well, for working professionals, it will not really be difficult. But if you are a student, well, just try simply emulating how people in the offices or people who are working are doing it. There's really nothing much that is really demanded from you that is extraordinary. And well, of course, the first one I would venture to say is to prepare your lessons, to be prepared for your lessons. When you come to a meeting, you actually have to prepare. No? Just don't. And then, of course, the other one is showing up on time. No?
Mm-hmm.
Preferably a few minutes before the time. Make sure you're already on the lobby or at the waiting room of your video conferencing platform. And also for your case before your class starts. Now, the other one will be maybe trying to dress on a prescribed attire if your video cams are on. If there is none, then that's fine. No? But try to be decent and appropriate as far as your status or as a student is concerned or what your situation really demands. During our meetings, we usually come for attire for work, and during the lockdown period, my team and I, when we meet, we are still dressed in our office attire, maybe half body only. Maybe some of us will be wearing shorts or jogging pants instead of the regular pants. But at least we try our best to show up in our normal working attire. Now, the other one will be try to be present. And when I say present, try to put your video cam on. Well, some people choose not to, but it's rather difficult to be able to see how the other person is reacting if you've got your cams off. It's usually best to be talking to someone and you're able to see them. Then you can react appropriately. Now, if you're limited in connectivity, I understand that a lot of us may have to put off our video cam. I understand that sometimes the limit of our connectivity is really our budget.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chico. And might I add, I feel like if there's anything that this pandemic is teaching us, it's really self-discipline, isn't it? We have to get up early in the morning, even though we're just working at home, dress up ourselves, if for women or even for men, like put on a little bit of makeup to kind of just, look more presentable. It's just a lot of things come into play, but ultimately boils down to self-discipline. For our next question, what are the do's and don'ts during online classes?
Well, I'm sure you already know most of this, but I don't want to be presumptuous. So I asked my daughter, who has enrolled herself in many online classes, just to find out if there's anything else that's unique in attending online classes compared to having video conferencing meetings. Well, maybe just to add a little bit, just try to be conscious about the noise that may be coming from your feed. Sometimes you have to be also, sometimes people fail to put their microphones on mute. I think they should have it as a default. And we also have to be patient, however, and understand that at times the person concerned really has no full control of what's happening in the household. And sometimes we all get irritated, but we have to be patient and be more tolerant and not jump to conclusions that the person on the other side is lacking in concern and is inconsiderate. But the other one maybe, of course, is to learn the basic skills. At least learn how to navigate the video conferencing platform that you're using. Now, for our case, we have to learn Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and sometimes you get confused on how to navigate the options that you have on these conferencing platforms. Let's look at what other things you can say on the do's. Maybe have a good place to invest your space and time, so that you'll find it less stressful when you're already doing your video conferencing. I know it's not easy for others, but just try your best. Make it your aspiration, maybe to have a small corner where you can actually set up so that you don't get stressed. Things are very close to you and accessible. Other one is, of course, give notice on the issue of noise. Give notice to your household so that at least you're forewarned and that you may need little silence because you're going for, let's say, a very important meeting. And when you need to do something while on live, again, put your microphone off. You don't want people to be hearing that maybe you're giving some domestic orders on domestic matters. And maybe as far as on the don'ts, well, try not to speak out of turn. There is this raising hand anyway as an option on those video conferencing platforms. And at times, no, we just simply raise our hands, and that's good enough. Also, try not to move too much because sometimes it really can be distracting. Or try to check whether you've got some clutter at your back. And of course, lastly, and I think you'll often see this, oftentimes you forget that you are sometimes backlighted. I know you may not have a choice on where to locate your computer, but you will appear like a ghost when you are actually backlighted. So those are just a few things that I can think of at the moment. I'm sure most of you already know those things.
Thank you for that, Sir Chito. And you know what? What's interesting about now, no, about what our time now is the fact that it's so modern that we have to add in our own personal etiquette the online video conferencing etiquette as well. And what you said are just some of those. And it's so interesting. It's funny, but it's interesting, and it's really what we need now to do, especially with what's happening in the world. We have one more question here from Zoom. What is more important? Applicants with high quality education but lack of experience, or an applicant with low quality of education but equipped with work experience?
Wow, good question.
Well, let me put in my my HR hat, and as well being leaders on various work scenarios. I can answer it personally. To me, what really matters is more really the attitude, because a lot of things can be compensated by other things. If you have a very high education and you lack the experience, then obviously that it's only exposure that that person needs. And you are already working with a person who has got a very big stock to begin with, a good quality of education. Experience can be gained. This is where mentoring can actually come in. They don't have to experience everything, the bad and worse. You can actually already share your experience and accelerate that person's training. Now, on the other hand, a low education or a low quality education is not I would say, a deterrent as well for a person's good performance. That person can draw from his experience, as I've said. I have experienced it. I've got a good mix of people who are on these categories, and both of them have traveled different paths, but actually all proved to be successful later on. So don't despair. What is important is the character of perseverance and trying to learn. If the intent is there to learn, there's nothing that you can actually do. So it's really your attitude. Keep a good learning attitude.
Thank you, Mr. Chito. And that is so refreshing to hear, that it's really about good character and as well as your eagerness to learn and your ability to persevere. All right, for our next question, this came from Gio Tamblik. Good day, sir. Few would argue that the state of the Philippine education system has plenty of room for improvement. However, developing a plan to take schools in the right direction is easier said than done. From 1 to 10, how will you rate SM Foundation in terms of contribution to developing the PH education?
Let me take it. Like to take basically these two questions. One is is an observation. On the first one, I would say that yes, definitely it may be a struggle. I myself did not have my full education in Manila. You can always say that the quality of education in the provinces may be a little slightly lower at times, but they have other things that they actually teach as well in the province. Like how they teach people to be persistent. There are other soft skills that are actually learned in the province compared to Manila. But in the end, it all balances out, and it all depends actually as far as the students is concerned. And today, if I compare it to during my time, I think the online learning, the technology has actually leveled the playing field. I would not be that concerned. I think our educators, you yourself, we all know what is troubling us, and let us give them some benefit. Let's give the benefit of the doubt that a lot of institutions, private sectors, are doing their best to improve the quality of our education. They've got their assessment standards, by the way, that they have to to comply. So this may not be a common knowledge for all of us. So that will be my humble piece and reaction to that concern. Yeah, definitely a concern. I don't want to compare myself. I've worked overseas, and I'll tell you that the reason why I accepted my last assignment in Europe was because I don't want to go home thinking how good my European counterparts are. And it was very dangerous for me to have actually accepted my second posting, my last posting after my African assignment. Because if I miss that one, I may not have a work to come home to. But I tell you, we can actually, we are very competitive with anyone, as far as, at least as far as the courses that I had was, as far as engineering is concerned. In my group, I was the only Filipino, maybe the only Asian amongst a European group of researchers. And the engineering, I have to handle more jobs than some of my colleagues. Now, on your last question, I really don't know. Please tell us, give us your feedback. It will be very difficult for us to measure ourselves, to assess ourselves. We can only measure ourselves based on the internal targets that actually we set for ourselves. As I've said, we've got a long way to go. We have identified that there are a lot of things where we can actually improve as far as the quality of our programs is concerned. And lastly, we feel that we can actually increase our reach through strategic partnership and collaboration.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chito Macapagal. And we can say that you guys are doing a great job at the SM Foundation. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat po.
All right, once again, thank you to Mr. Chito Macapagal. And our next speaker for quality education is the director of the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization Secretariat. She is the 18th CIMEO Secretariat Director and the first woman director of the CIMEO Secretariat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome none other than Dr. Ethel Agnes Valenzuela.
It is my pleasure to join you and share my thoughts on the theme present today. Let me first start with introducing my organization, the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization, called as CIMEO. CIMEO is an intergovernmental organization promoting regional cooperation in education, in science, and culture. As a leading organization, we want to enhance regional understanding and cooperation for a better quality of life in Southeast Asia. We have 11 member countries, we have associate member countries, and affiliate members, partner organizations, CIMEO schools network, and universities, just like you. Let us look at the future. It was projected that the highest paying jobs of the future of 2025 to 2050 are jobs that are relevant with data and technology. And these are the changing trends in our society. There will be more academic programs on space pilot, data detection, ethical source management, extinct species management, companion for the aged or caring for the aged, IT service management, AI, UX design, printing engineering, and digital rehabilitation counseling. We also know that the top 5 skills of 2025 can be seen from having all of these skills: analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving skills, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality, and initiative. So if we look at the future, the STEM career, it will be reliant on increasing ICT requirement in Southeast Asia job market. It's projected that 80% of jobs in Southeast Asia will require basic digital literacy and applied ICT skills by 2030. From nearly 200 million jobs in 2020 to over 300 million jobs in 2030. It is estimated that due to automation process in Southeast Asia, there will be increasing ICT requirement. 56% of total jobs are estimated to be at risk of replacement. And in those jobs at risk percentage, more than half belong to women. While jobs that are likely to remain stable will require more ICT skills as well. From our CMEO survey on Southeast Asian youth during COVID-19 pandemic, we have found out from 2,180 people that a high number of percentage of youth express that they need support for access to education, online classes, and platforms. They have also shared with us that there is a new work career after COVID-19 pandemic, and these are youth expressing that they face challenges and difficulties in education and in career. They experience a shortage of skills, inefficient learning outcomes that they felt depressed about that. So the future in our strategic plan 2021 to 2030, which we have launched this year, we would like to focus more on addressing barriers to inclusion and to adopt 21st century curriculum. We will be focusing on social and mental health, data science, analytics, and AI, STEM education, and the future workforce. We have dedicated CMEO centers for STEM ed and also other partners who are helping us in improving STEM education in the region. In the last ministerial meeting, we have called to action for CMEO member countries to actually champion education transformation in Southeast Asia through strategic partnership and through collaboration. How are we going to do that? The action agenda. Number one is expand educational innovation for a technology pervasive future. Deepen resilience in education system to respond to challenges. Foster an educational environment that continues to uplift the marginalized and most vulnerable members of Southeast Asian community. Supporting capacity building for teachers and education personnel in developing future-ready learners in an evolving world, and working with CMEO centers and units to promote spirit of lifelong learning. And finally, creating a policy environment that enhances collaboration and partnership among education sectors, actors, to transform education in a manner consistent with Southeast Asian identity and culture. In CMEO Secretariat, we have programs such as See Teacher Tibet Lecture Series, where universities participate in sharing their information from diploma to bachelor's level, sharing competencies, technology transformation for both students and teachers, and capacity building for teachers. And the City Vet Lecture Series was also highly successful for having all the Southeast Asian member countries join in our webinars. Next is CMEO Cares, COVID-19 Accessible and Responsive Educational Support Program. This flagship initiative will help to support classroom online learning resources development and also, secondly, toolkit for capacity building for Southeast Asian teachers. The toolkit learning services programs will help promote capacity for teachers to handle remote learning and also peace building and ESD through the open educational resources we are consolidating at the moment. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, digitalization in education is not a new phenomenon. We have been working on open educational resources with Simulec and other centers in the region. to promote open and distance learning even before the pandemic hit. The use of online platform has become widespread at the moment to ensure social restriction. Virtual mobility has become common due to the uncertainty brought by COVID-19, and people have started to normalize virtual mobility and enjoy borderless environment in the virtual space. However, we would like to enhance our virtual mobility programs, and we hope that you can join us as we present to you some important developments in this area. Dear friends, the digital divide issue is one of the significant issues for virtual mobility. That is why a number of institutions could not participate. Uneven internet infrastructure and a curriculum that does not support online learning to facilitate virtual exchange and teachers' capacity and student readiness are often the barriers to virtual mobility. We would like to address that. As long as you have motivation and commitment to join us in the virtual mobility, you can come in. Virtual mobility provides a better chance for resources and knowledge exchange, minimizing the spread of COVID-19 and solving the issue of travel restriction. Thus, we would like to have more universities involved in this new virtual mobility scheme. In terms of online education in Southeast Asia, challenges mentioned can be addressed. We can see that the internet connection in Southeast Asia is not at all the same for everybody. Some countries have 90% higher access to internet while the others are still on 30%. But we need to cooperate together for the next generation of professional education. We need to think beyond the barriers and the problems and challenges. We need to think of solutions. So international landscape to foster next generation professionals should be part of our agenda. Looking at global citizenship, 21st century skills and future skills will be a better initiative. Hence, to smoothen the transition process to digitalization education, the member countries of CIMEO should promote cooperation in a wider scale, addressing the challenges of virtual mobility implementation. CIMEO partner schools and colleges and universities was conducted recently to explore possibility of working together, gaining broader regional perspective and sharing diverse teaching and learning techniques. So we invite you to join us in our e-mobility programs for CIMEO Educator Exchange and Development, CIMEO TVET Exchange Program, and CIMEO Smart Camp Program. They will be offered this year up to next year. Thank you very much for your attention, and we hope to see you in our programs. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ethel Agnes Valenzuela, and to all of those who are still participating, still there on our Facebook Live and on Zoom and everywhere sharing their thoughts and, of course, their takeaways on our Twitter account. Don't forget to use the hashtag so that you guys can join our takeaway promos and prize giving as well.
Yes,
And of
that's
course,
right, Cholo. And of course, yes, I know you are going to thank the sponsors because yes, we are so thankful for them. Thank you to the Global Peace Foundation, SM Cares, Consuelo Foundation, CIE British School, Rotary Club of Makati, Circle of Friends, Nestle Philippines, Unilever, and Globe for this year's virtual Global Youth Summit. Thank you very much.
and of course, we would like to also thank all of our speakers for today, kay Dr. Kilimanguru Tiwaquen, Dr. Maria Rosario Vergere, Mr. Chito Macapagal, and Dr. Ethel Agnes Valenzuela. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and experiences to promote healthy lives and well-being for all ages and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all.
Before we announce more winners of the SM shopping vouchers and Nestle vouchers, we'd like to remind everyone that tomorrow we will have another set of exciting speakers that will discuss topics that you will find very interesting. So please join us again tomorrow as there is so much more to learn, to enjoy, and to win. All right, and now here are the winners of the SM shopping vouchers and Nestle vouchers as well. First up, we have Vicencio. Vicencio says, I can say that education is really powerful when you share it, especially when it comes to our health. We should be aware and understand the facts in order to protect ourselves amid this pandemic. You are right. We have to stay updated and just watch the news in order for us to be able to spread facts as engagedly as possible.
That's right. Congratulations to our second winner, Pagitan, saying, I agree. Filipinos love chismis and is always prone to disinformation. So as a youth, we should advocate for a correct information and be critical in whatever we share, especially regarding infos about the pandemic, to avoid causing panic and more fake news.
Congratulations to you too, Bia. Bia says misinformation spreads faster than COVID. We should learn to educate ourselves and think critically. Thank you very much and congrats to you.
Winner number 4 is Angel Ann, saying the real enemy is misinformation. Misinformation spreads faster than COVID. Instead of giving attention to those who spread misinformation as it results to giving them more platform and engagement, we can focus on our platform and amplify the truth.
That is right. And winner number 5, Abigail, says, indeed, professionals should not limit their science communication concerning COVID-19. Concerns must adjust to all kinds of people, professionals or just average people. They should communicate the language of large masses, not just in their own field.
Winner number 6 is the one who remembered. Ooh, who did you remember? Hearing about the OH's COVID-19 response strategy mapped by Dr. Maria somehow helped me feel at ease. Hoping for proper implementation and the cooperation of people to fight COVID, and also wider spreading of legitimate information about vaccines. Amen.
Winner number 7, AweSMSeas, says, while it is true that frontliners are our first line of defense, citizens like us have a role to play as well. Each one of us who belong in the household is our second line of defense. That's correct. Don't forget that we have to take care of ourselves.
Winner number 8 is Abigail Ramos, as the DOH uses PDITR strategy as their framework in combating COVID-19. We, the youth, then in turn must be the arm in enforcing this initiative of the government for the good of all. We have a part. Everyone has a part.
Yes, that's right, Cholo. And our second to the last winner, winner number 9, Aaliyah. I'm going to stick with Aaliyah. I can't read the rest. Says, always wear a mask, maintain social distancing, sanitize, get vaxxed. These are basic yet vital ways on how to prevent virus transmission. Protect yourself and others around you by knowing the facts and taking appropriate precautions. Yes, let's not, wait for the frontliners to take care of us once we already get the virus. Let's actually take care of ourselves right now when we can.
And our last winner is Leng. Sabi niya, thank you, hashtag GYS 2021, for an informative and timely discussion. It is indeed part of our responsibility as a citizen to ensure the protection within ourselves to further protect the people around us. Tara, magpabakuna na. SM cares. I love it.
I just love that message. Tara, magpabakuna na. Indeed, congratulations to all of our winners.
All right. And again, if you guys still have any more thoughts about, of course, what happened today, if you have any more learnings that you want to share, not only to your feed, but also to your friends and families, do so. And join us again tomorrow for more of this. But also, congratulations to all of our winners. To claim your prizes, message us on a Viber. The Viber number that you need to message is on the screen right now. There you go. 0921-295-3753. And now, like what I said during the start of our show, we have a GYS Trivia Quiz Bee powered by Quizzes. So now all of All right, I got excited there for a bit. I have to admit. But all right, for those of you who are watching, you can join by simply following the instructions that you will see right now on your screens. There you go. You can type in on your browser, joinmyquiz.com. Right after that, you will see this next page where you will enter our join code. All right, our join code for today is 635703. Again, 635703. We'll give you some time to encode that. 635703. If you guys are good, you will see this next page. This is the third step. Okay, ayan. So you type in your first name, just your first name. We don't need the whole name. We just need your first name plus a unique 6-digit combination. All right. So for me, it could be Cholo 123457. Whatever code you want. It could be your birthday. It could be your mom's birthday, your brother's birthday. Just make a unique code so that we can find you easily after the game. All right, right after that, take a screenshot of the next page. This is vital. This is important because this will be your proof if in case you win today's quiz bee. All right, so screenshot and save it for proof.
Yes,
There
guys,
you go.
don't forget to remember everything that Cholo told you. So today we will be answering our 10 trivia questions. And don't worry, answers to the questions are in multiple choices. So you have to just click the answer of your choice. You have 20 seconds to answer each question. And remember to answer the questions as quickly as you can because points will be based not only on the correct answer, but how fast you can click your answers as well. We will show the leaderboard after each question. Cholo, what will the top scorer get if they win
The top
this?
scorer? Am I feeling generous today? Well, I certainly am. The top scorer will win 2,000 pesos worth of SMGCs. Ano naman ang makukuha ng second place?
The second place will win 1,000 pesos worth of SMGC, and the third place
will win 500 pesos worth of SMGCs from SM Cares.
All right, guys. It is time for us to begin. We are just reminding all of you to put the number after your first name, okay? Don't forget, that's very important. A unique number. Let's not stick to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just, let's do better than that.
And if you guys haven't logged in yet, it's joinmyquiz.com and the code is 635703. 635703. Are we ready? I am so excited for this.
We are so ready. Let us play GYS Trivia Quiz Bee powered by Quizzes. Let's start.
Woo-wee.
What is our first question? Let's see what we have. How many sustainable development goals are there? What are our choices, Cholo?
Well, I think they are seeing the choices right now. So I'm seeing a lot of people answering already. I think the ones that are highlighted now are the ones who have finally answered the questions, right?
Yes.
So I can see
that
many are already done with answering our first question. We have 10, so 9 more to go. But let's focus on this one. You have 16 more seconds on the clock.
Guys, come on, you can do it. Our question is, how many sustainable development goals are there? If you listened intently earlier, you will get this right away. And actually, we learned this in school, right, Cholo?
Yeah, that's right. And we've been repeating this as well in the previous GYSs. So they should know. I believe they should know.
Yes. All right,
Time is
all
up.
done. What is the correct answer?
Let's see.
We are
Let's see. It
currently
is.
refreshing.
All right. The correct answer is letter B, 17. And if I'm not mistaken,
Majority.
127 got it correctly.
That's right. A lot of people got it correctly. Congratulations to you guys. Now the next question is right there. Sustainable development goals is the core of which agenda? Key in your answers. The fastest to get it will be the top scorer for this round.
But don't forget, you have to get it correctly, all right? So your choices now, I know you can see it, but I'll repeat it for you. A is Agenda 2030. B is Agenda Millennium, C is Agenda 2031, or D, Agenda 2040.
I wonder if they're gonna get the correct answer, but I'm seeing a lot of people key in their answers, but some are still thinking about it. You have a little bit more time, but make sure to be fast in order to be a top scorer. Of course, you have to get the correct answer, like what Cholo mentioned.
This is intense, Michael, because we have 302 participants right now. And there are only 100. Okay, it's growing. It's 200 now. We're at the 200 mark. 200 people are now done with their answers. We have 15 seconds on the clock. Is that right? Oh, we're done. Okay.
Oh, we're done. We're done.
We're done. Okay.
And the correct answer is, drum roll, please. Okay, internet problems. Oh, we're at it again.
Okay, we're at it again. We're not done yet? Okay. Okay, all done.
All done.
Now we're all done. Okay.
Now the correct answer is, let's see what the leaderboard says. Ooh. Oh, we have winners already? No, not yet. That was a joke. Okay, our correct answer is Agenda 2030. Yes, 170 people got it correctly. Congratulations, you guys. And now we are up
Congrats.
to our third question.
All right, I'll read it for all of you. In what year did the leaders of all 193 member states of the UN adopted Agenda 2030, which contains the sustainable goals? Your choices are A, 2013, B, 2014, C, 2015, and D, 2016.
I wonder who is going to win this round. I hope that majority of the people get it. As far as I know, Cholo, we have around 300 participants, correct?
Yes, we do have 319 now. 319 participants.
Yeah, 319 a while ago for the second question. About 170. That's almost half of you guys. So I hope that more people can get this correctly, because we will not ask you anything that we did not cover today. Correct, Chola?
Correct. All right, so right now I'm looking at the screen and we have 160 participants who have already answered. So let's see if there are more who can guess. Oh no.
You guys have a few more seconds. I don't know if I should thank the technical difficulty here, because it's giving people a lot of time to really think about what they want to key in.
All right, I think we have the correct answer already. And the number of winners, or what number of people who answered correctly. So let's see.
Let's see.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's continuing pa. This is intense.
This is so intense, and I feel like a lot of people... Oh, there! We are all done. A lot of people are keying in their answers, and now here is the leaderboard. What is the correct answer, Cholo? Take it away.
The correct answer is letter C, 2015. And we have 129 who got it correctly. Congratulations.
Yay! Congratulations to 129 of you. Now, don't fret. We have a bunch more questions to go. So let's move on to question number 4 in 3, 2, 1. What was the name of the summit in which these leaders come together to adopt Agenda 2030? What are our choices, Cholo?
We've got A, UN Millennium Development Summit, letter B, UN Sustainable Direction Summit, C, UN Summit, or D, UN Sustainable Development Summit.
I wonder what it might be. Again, you can choose from A to D. Just make sure you get the right one. When you key it in right away, you have more chances of getting to the top of the leaderboard if you key in the correct answer immediately.
That's right. All right. 329 out of the 329 participants, 190 people have already keyed in their answer.
Just
It's
a little bit
growing to
more.
200.
Yes, Cholo, let's do the math. How many more? 100 something.
Okay, we have 329.
Yes, and we are
203.
all done.
203 have already keyed their answers. 203 are what we're counting. You can see the leaderboard so far. The
And the correct answer is, go ahead,
letter
Cholo.
D, UN Sustainable Development Summit.
Congratulations to those of you who got the correct answer. Now moving on to our next question. Ooh, this is quite a mouthful. It is defined as the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It calls for concerted efforts towards building an inclusive, sustainable, and resilient future for people and the planet. Wow, that itself was 20 seconds, Cholo.
That's true. Your choices are letter A, sustainable development, letter B, efficient development, letter C, holistic development, and letter D, participatory development. We have the
let's
leaderboard
see.
here. What is the correct answer? Correct answer is letter A.
Letter A, but nobody was able to key in their answers. Am I seeing this correctly?
Was it too difficult? I think not.
I think
Let's
not,
see.
but they have another
Yeah.
chance, right?
Your next question, what is SDG number 1?
What is SDG number 1, you guys? Our choices are quality education, zero hunger, no poverty, or gender equality. What is it? I'm sure this is easy for everybody.
Time is up. That was quick.
Time is
20
up.
seconds. It runs really quickly.
That's right. But then now we have our leaderboard. And, I'm pretty sure there's probably just a glitch, but we do have a leaderboard, which means we have people keying in their answers, right? Okay, so our next question, Cholo.
What is SDG number 17?
Our choices are life below water, affordable and clean energy, climate action, and partnership for the goals. And did you know, Cholo, I just heard that we are trending on Twitter. That
I'm
is
actually
so
checking
cool.
it now. Wow, thank you so much to everyone who tweeted using our hashtags, our official hashtags. Thank you for making us trend. This is crazy, but don't let that distract you. Answer the questions, all right? We're still
That's
in
right.
the game.
Keep
But thank you so
focusing
much.
and answer. Yes, thank you so much. And after this, just keep posting, keep the ball rolling. Don't forget to use our hashtags. And we have our leaderboard in front of us right now. So Cholo, who's our number 1?
Jay is at number 1 right here,
Jay is
and
our-
no
Jay
movements.
has been on the number 1 for a while.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so we have our correct answer. It's letter D, partnership for the goals.
And our next question is,
What is the target year to accomplish the 17 Sustainable Development Goals?
Oh, this was mentioned earlier, right? But we have the
Yes.
choices up here on quizzes. We got 2028, 2030, 2032, and 2040. 1 second left. Time is up. Okay, let's see the leaderboard. Jay, are you still number one? Jay is
He's still
still
number
number
one.
one.
Royce at number 2, Ubreen at number 3. What is the correct answer? It is letter B, 2030.
Congratulations to all of you guys who got that correctly. And now we are going to move on to our 9th question. How many SDGs are the main themes for this year's GYS? So A is, Cholo, please let us know what the choices are.
Letter A, 2. Letter B, 3. Letter C, 4. Letter D, 5.
And the time is now up. You guys should be all done.
All right, the leaderboard is here. Don't you fret, this may be a glitch, but we still are generating points. So you guys are still answering. We're still seeing the points on the back end. So do not worry. We will show you the correct leaderboard right after the game.
Yes, that's right, Cholo. So you guys keep those answers being keyed in. And our last question is the Division for Sustainable Development Goals, or DSDG, that provides substantive support and capacity building for the SDGs and their related thematic issues belong to what department of the United Nations?
All right, we
Quickly,
got
guys.
Department of Economic and Societal Affairs, Department of Efficient and Sustainable Affiliations, Department of Economic and Social Affairs, and Department of Ergonomics and Sustainable Affairs.
The correct answer is letter C. Congratulations to all of you who keyed in letter C, because yes, that is the correct answer. And that was our last question for this quizzes Q&A, right, Cholo?
That is right. So now we are going to see who made it to the top. Like what I told you, it was just a glitch. Now we're seeing a change up on number 2 and number 3. So congratulations to our first placer. Do we see it?
Who do we have?
Here we go.
Yes.
I can see it. I think I can. There? It's so small.
Yes.
We've got
I can see
Jay.
it. It's just tiny.
Jay is at number 1. Congratulations. Sarah at number 2. And Angelo at number 3.
Congratulations. Wow. Number 1 and number 2 got all the questions correctly. That's so amazing. And our third placer only got one incorrect answer.
Yeah, but I think it really does. Time makes a lot of difference in this game. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you know the right answer, you're automatically gonna win. You really have to key in the answer fast, and that is why Jay won. And again, congratulations to all of our winners. Again, our first placer will get a 2,000 peso worth SMGC. The second placer will get 1,000 pesos SMGC, and the third placer will get a 500 peso SMGC, courtesy of SM Cares.
Yes, and to claim your prizes, just message us on Viber. The Viber number that you need to message is on the screen, so kindly send the screenshot that we asked from you of your screen name as a validation. All right, Cholo, take it away.
And tomorrow, we will also announce the winners of the 3 Clean Canteen tumblers from the Global Youth Summit Viber community. Thank you once again, GlobalPeace Foundation, SM Cares, Consuelo Foundation, CIE British School, Rotary Club of Makati Circle of Friends, Nestlé Philippines, Unilever, and Globe for this year's virtual Global Youth Summit. This has been Cholo de la Cruz.
And I've been Micah Louise. And by the way, Cholo, happy International Youth Day, right?
Yes, happy International Youth Day. And since we're celebrating that, why don't we congratulate our SM Online winners as well? We've got them on the screen. Patrick Banzon Custodio, Ulysses Dio Jr., Mary Grace, Franke Rago, and Josh Magtibay. Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations
Happy
to all of you.
International Youth Day. Again, my name is Cholo de la Cruz.
And I'm Micah Louise. Join us again tomorrow for the second day of the 2021 Virtual Global Youth Summit in conjunction with the Global Peace Convention. Thank you, you guys. Keep safe, stay protected, and see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.